action for this North American region, actually from the very start, since we had hundreds of teams in those open qualifiers, Mythic being one of them. Now looking to execute onto this A bomb site. Katie, Davey, both opening up. Just Carson's AK remains, and he's also going to fall. Now the P90 outmaneuvered in the retake. As the Famas drops, how much damage can Curry do? Apparently nothing. Swings into Davey. That's Mythic for 2.
Yeah, I think that whole round is wildly caught off guard. That's kind of the phrase that springs to mind for Rebirth in a lot of different situations. The initial hit towards the end. So many players unsure, the communication not quite on point. Maybe a pause ahead of this round, but no, they are going to go straight in for it. Of course, the buy available, it's very wacky. I would have preferred to see a half buy here, but they feel confident. And also, like I said, I would have preferred to see a pause, but here we are, here we go, and this is the hand that they have dealt themselves. Curry opens up, however. Looser, faster round, perhaps, with the weaker buy. Seems to be working so far.
And this time, 4-pack away from the AWP, away from the server with Retchi. SNF, he's able to connect 2 quick shots inside the connector. Such a hard portion of the map to actually hold on to if you're Rebirth, if you're on this CT side whatsoever. The 2-1 defense, with Curry wanting to rummage into long. He shouldn't get a lot of information here as he diverts into the toilets. Of course, Mythic are practically going to walk right past him with the bomb isolated towards the B bomb site. They don't want to leave Pollen all on his lonesome, especially with Zotic just ready and waiting on this sidelining angle. It's one that you absolutely have to check. He's not on that back boost angle. I'll have to call it the rocking angle. He was the player previously on Outlaws who revolutionized that play, but Zotic can't connect any shots there. And now Carson caught in rotation. It's as ZNF. I keep getting it wrong, Scriv, but he's able to wrap away that, but not the round. Curry now forced to fall back.
1-on-2. Obviously does not fancy his chances here, so looking good for Mythic. Looking good. String a couple together, Squid. I think they can be very happy with this indeed. It's not the cleanest of rounds, right? Certainly in this one. Just the 2 players surviving, but maybe even less, actually, if Curry gets his way. Looks like, unfortunately, he will not. So up to 3 very quickly. Mythic bouncing back pretty quickly. Yesterday, we saw this map from them, right, as you've mentioned, but it was a mad comeback. So, hoping to keep things a little closer, a little more competitive the whole way through, rather than relying on a speedy comeback, a stressful comeback, ultimately. They always are, whether they're successful or not.
Just to note, one of the most insane comebacks I think I've ever seen in one of these qualifiers. How many times do we see it? 14-7 down, you maybe get to a 14-12, maybe even wrap it up to evens just before being knocked out of the tournament. Sometimes you get that second wind. It's often not enough for Mythic. They were able to force it to a 3rd map, but unable to close it out against EA Gaming. Now into this lower bracket where they are challenged for their tournament life. Carson, a couple of stunning shots with the USPS as he looks for a little bit more. Can't salvage the AK. Wants to take a secondary avenue of approach to allow the AWP to come through. There was a Zeus in the mix, Scriv. But now we see the retake come to fruition.
Will they fully commit to this, though? I mean, Exotic's got himself an AWP. I suppose the USPs might as well go for it, right? You never know the damage you could do. Flan. Nice little follow-up to find that second frag. Exotic, my guy, just save it. Just save it. Retchi's doing some good damage. Does manage to drop Flom. Can he get an AK? Maybe, maybe not. If he sticks around a little while longer, the bomb goes off. That AK could come towards him. But unfortunately,
he's not going for it.
Yeah, the safety, I suppose they're going for. I'm not quite sure. Now we'll look to try and gun it.
No way.
Don't know. You don't have enough time to do anything there.
That's what I like to call a mistake-erino.
Yeah, maybe. I suppose there's the argument also to be made that they really want to save that AWP, so having him stand slightly in front of Exotic, right, so that Exotic can either get the info to trade or sprint out. There's also an argument for that.
certainly the case. You've always got a dilemma in those situations. I would have certainly preferred to go for the AK-47. Instead, it is the AWP to take the initial shot towards the A ramp. Of course, Mythic just playing a more passive attack, creeping and crawling the way onto 4-pack. Who is the initial player on this defense, just to watch for these angles, forced back by the utility. Back to more passive lines on the A bomb site, scoping and attention diverted towards toilets and long. Seems to be the end game here for Mythic. They're not committed, of course, the bomb back towards the terrorist spawn, as they seem to want to prioritize the A bomb site. Curry that stand-in. You'll probably see him play as the isolated member. He's probably going to be more of a run and gun potential. He's probably not going to be firmly acquainted with all of these more in-depth strategies that Rebirth will be running in this series. ZNF probably quite the same.
Nice pickup from Flom to open us up here on that Mythic side. Oh, Curry, though, is ready and waiting for the rotation down. Could get all three here, almost. He targets Flom. I suppose the step comes in from Flom sooner than it did from ZNF. All the same, he gets two and practically a third, right? Retchy waiting on the other side of the smoke. Well read. Exotic here to back him up. Will go down, but Retchy finding that final frag onto Pollen. Mythic trying to work off of the early pick. Maybe just needed to charge towards A, to be honest. They were all packed in together. Might as well have just sent it if that's what the plan was down connector, rather than overthinking things with a speedy rotation.
Such a tough round, though, in all contexts. Costly for both teams, but Rebirth, they obviously have enough for the full buy in the next. Mythic taking their first tactical timeout here. They'll have a buy also. Just Davey below the $4,000 mark. Everybody else just above. ZNF probably gets out the AK-47 in just body armor. That would leave him with no nades to work with whatsoever. No AK-47s can be dropped over to him. And he actually goes for the UMP instead. He's been probably the most fiery member of this Mythic side so far. 9 and 6. Surpassing every other member of that roster. Putting him on the UMP instead. I'd say that's a bit of a mistake. Hottest player should probably be on that most premium rifle in my opinion. It's a 4-pack on the most premium rifle on this Rebirth side. AWP for him. Sniper rifle lurches right between the A bomb site once again. He's playing the solo defense so far. It's Retchy to join him towards the pointy letter this time. Just backtracking towards the A bomb site. They're not actually forcing this control Rebirth. They're just going for this initial pick. If they don't find anything, backtrack towards the toilets. Don't concede any of these opening kills. That's the first and hardest to find for Mythic in any one of these situations. Carson wants to peek over the top and he gets a tiny trim of information to start. And that is what I like to call a waste of $600, Scriv.
Oh, yeah, maybe a little. Maybe a little. Okay, there we are, Davey. Actually winning the fight against Curry. What has happened there? The M4 gets bested by the MAC-10, albeit only by 2 HP, but all the same. 4-pack, meanwhile, has spotted out ZNF. ZNF doesn't know it, and a great little peek coming in. Easy stuff. Even back up very, very quickly. 40 seconds remain in the round. Mythic really need to make a move because Davey is low, right? You don't want this hit to come in panicked and disconjointed. Everyone needs to work together cleanly. Not sure whether that will happen, though, as they have one player out long, one at Monster, one in sewers, I suppose. Really no semblance of an attack here. No coordination looks likely. Exotic. Oh, perfect spot. Here's him coming in. Davey gets taken down. Retchy chimes in at the perfect time. That is the definition of coordination. Meanwhile, Pollen from behind. Yeah, great getting frags, but they just hide. He's got 5 seconds to get the bomb down. Okay, or they don't hide and Exotic takes his head off. But all the same, the round is over at that point.
Yeah, you want to take away that final rifle, but you don't want to leave the round in the balance. Rebirth don't. They stretch it forward 5-4, take this lead. We know that Mythic far more comfortable on the CT side. So very snappy rotations yesterday. This time it'll just be the pistols trying to level up the scoreline and close up this storyline with a bit of a bang with just a CZ75, couple of PT50s once again, and the single Desert Eagle for Katie. I'd almost love to see ZNF with another Deagle here, but just goes for the PT50 instead. Doesn't want to spend too much cash, obviously. Doesn't want to be stuck with just a UMP once again. And finding 4-pack right off the bat, that smoke grenade will create a compromise and a stalemate. And where does this AWP go towards? KT's got it momentarily, and with Flom gone, he would usually be taking up the sniper duties. I think it might be KT to cling onto it instead.
Minute and 10 left on the clock. Slow approach here from Mythic. Actually in a really good spot if they can work this up, right, like you say. Could be magnificent. Could be a steal of a round. Boost coming in for Pollen. What's the game plan? Is he looking to spot? Will he check this corner? He will indeed, but the angle too rough for him. Trade comes in, however. Very nicely set up. Very nicely executed. Still a 3-on-3. There's 1-for-1 trades. Always good for the T side. Davey narrowly avoids death, and thank goodness he did. He had the bomb. Katie, meanwhile, playing contact up long. Where do we go? What is the game plan? Got to be careful of this bank angle. Yep, Carson, brilliantly done. Absolutely brilliant with the off angle there. And I think that might just seal the deal in this round.
Yeah, no opportunity for a bomb plant here, Davey. Surely no opportunity for even one more frag. 6-4, the conversion comes through. Should have been an even simpler anti-eco than that, but losing the AWP right off the bat, that's always the difference maker. I'd love to see 4-pack there playing a more passive defense with that sniper rifle. Always lays it in contention when you drop it right off the bat. Mythic, it's the AK-47s to come through. They can't afford a sniper to contend with 4-pack once again. Expect him to play aggressive towards A. This has pretty much been the staple of this defense. Instead, he actually changes things up. You don't often see this, especially when a CT side is winning all of these rounds, putting that up towards the B bomb site, giving 4-pack that space, that freedom. And Mythic wants to challenge with the AKs. Oh.
Solid opener from Davey, of course. Young David.
Again, Scriff. Again. David.
Yeah, I love it, mate. I love it. David. Now I'm doing it on purpose, to be fair. Yesterday it was due to fatigue, but it's his name. It's his name. I just like doing it. Sometimes casted, the Dignitas lineup will exist. Sometimes call him Richard. Just some nice names, mate. They roll off very, very nicely. Especially if it's there on the hood. I'm not sure if you can see them, but I know some of the hoods have full names.
This one doesn't.
I mean, that's fair. I feel for a, caster to produce as well, it would be difficult and probably a lot of information for you to fill out, right? On the fly and from game to game. And then if you get it wrong, well, geez, you'll never hear the end of it,
I mean, we actually do get all of that info sent to us. We don't actually do any of that stuff, but it shows how much production Scriv_TV does.
I mean, yeah, you've got me there, dude. You've got me there. I did a bit of production when I was covering the Asian close qualifiers, and they didn't send me anything. So
what? You had to fill all the names out yourself?
No, I just didn't use the hood because they didn't send it in time. 3-on-3 here. The advanced position from ZNF looking pretty solid. Actually takes a lot of damage there. Exotics picked up Davey on the backside. This is not looking good. They've got kits available as well. Clean fight taken. 3-on-1 for KT. Finds the first. Gets the second. Okay, and knows vaguely where 4-pack is coming from. A great little off angle and spots him out first. Oh, that is such a great spot for KT. A big 1-on-3 for Mythic.
Again, it feels like it's always her pulling through these clutches when it really matters for Mythic. We haven't seen it thus far today, but really showing up at the tail end, the business end of this first half. Great 1 versus 3 right there, just to really patch up a lot of the mistakes that Zed and F and Co were making. Those isolated 1vx Angels taken. When you've got that 3 versus 3 scenario, especially on the A bomb site, you have to find those after plants and really not let yourself get unburrowed. That was the mistakes that Mythic were making. working, and such a key round for KT to carry through. 6-5 now, keeping it in contention, and you see how this buy reflects as a result. The Desert Eagles once again for Curry and 4-Pack, one of which on this primary angle, and that's a shot that 4-Pack should be connecting 7 days of the week, and Curry certainly needs to convert. Doesn't. SNF, that's 2. And now the MP9 needs to take into task here. 1 bullet's good enough. That levels up the numbers, but with the SMGs and a potential B bomb site retake, and an AWP as well, not looking good. Carson gets toasty. Retchy gets flanky. And now in the 3v2 scenario, smoke placed. How does KT unburrow herself from this bomb site? Instead, it's down into water. That's perfectly played, but the MP9's able to take Davey to task. It's 7-5.
Making it awfully difficult in these past few rounds, aren't they? On both sides of the equation, right? It's so very close. I kind of feel paramount, however, for Mythic to gain control and to take this map. Dust 2 next. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that one, right? Dust 2 is always wacky and wild. It's not like either team are particularly strong on it either, by the looks of things, but you would imagine with it being the pick of Rebirth, we can at the very least benefit of the doubt, assume that they have a game plan for it. Not like the strat book of Dust 2 is particularly deep. Regardless. 4-Pack, they're coming flying round this corner towards him. He does manage to land the tag onto that first player, getting himself a second as well. ZNF picking up Retchy, but 4-Pack, he's the one who stays alive on the AWP. Oh. Massive 4K comes in. It's, once again, very stressful, a little sweaty for sure. Hot under the collar, but he doesn't miss.
And that bails Rebirth out of a lot of trouble. If he goes down there, the reinvestments pretty much cost them that round 15 buy. They should be able to invest into both of these follow-up rounds with a little bit of cash in their back pockets. You see, Curry actually has to go for the full reinvestment here. Only $150 to play within the next as well. That's on top of a minimum loss bonus, with Mythic losing actually a fair few in a row. That's definitely costly for the CT economy, as they want to close this out 10-5. Carson taking an aggressive stance as a result, and I don't think Pollen's actually expecting this one. Crosshair negotiates its way towards the playground, but with Carson already burrowed in, they can actually play a majority defense on the B bomb site, but that's not coming in right now. Mythic instead just waltzing their way towards the curly letter. Connect to control taken, and 4-Pack, if he does get challenged, there's every opportunity that Mythic are held at an arm's length. The bomb needs to be wrapped through, and with that flash over and onwards, Retchy, he's going to take the aggressive swing. I don't think that smoke's doing him any favors. He's actually getting caught inside the door. There goes another flashbang, and Retchy now needs to make his way in. He just cannot find his way out of that squeaky door, finally into Flom's crosshairs, as 4-Pack kept it bay. He's already been spotted, remember, the man to find the early kill. Mythic might have just done it to bring this to perhaps even 7. The money's quite low.
Yeah, still definitely going to be an advantage for Rebirth. It's just a question of how much. Flom looking very nice here at the tail end. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of being proactive. This might not be over just yet, actually. Carson really crept in here. Does take a lot of damage for that frag, finding a second. He needs some assistance. They don't have a lot of time to get on the bomb. They don't have utility to cover it either. Oh, the spray through the smoke. Oh, no. It's not quite lining up. They're both going for it. No way. Oh, my goodness. Curry goes down at the very last millisecond of that defuse. Oh, my goodness. Mythic still come away with the victory, but that is as close as it will ever get.
And Mythic will have no idea how close that actually got. Of course, when they watch it in the replay, they'll find out that that was literally the final couple of ticks. 6 rounds taken as a result. That was a key one to win. If Rebirth rob it, they've obviously got a lot more money going into this one, and Curry's not just stuck on a Desert Eagle Retchy without the MP9. That will be the case going into the final round of the first half, as once again, Mythic's economy doesn't look too good either. Not optimal buy for either team. As Davey towards the connector area. 9 kills so far. Not the star-studded performance we saw yesterday. As Rebirth do give up this map control for the first time. They've been playing heavy connector control since the start. At least 4-Pack playing aggro as well with the AWP. He's stuck with the M4 in this scenario.
Retchy First line of defense at the moment on this A bomb site will go unchecked. Only good for one. Exotic, meanwhile, in and around Optimus. Nice little one-way for him, but the traces are followed. Exotic's also found a frag. Oh my goodness, this is all so wild. Carson comes away with a double in the end, though. Goodness gracious me. You certainly feel for the Observer in that round. Absolutely mental, but Rebirth come away with the 9th.
Yeah, and it's just that chaos to really push them over the top. 9 rounds for Rebirth as Mythic just don't get the job done on their T side. It was a massive CT side performance to force them back into it yesterday, and they're going to need to repeat history if they want to go 1-0 up in this best of 3. We'll find out after the break if they can do exactly that.
Look above your head at the moonlit sky. The stardust drips and shines brightly in your eye. So baby, stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning. Oh, baby. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. The stars falls around us, entwining us. So baby, stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half, Rebirth. Good lead. Let's see if they can take the pistol to try and take this one over the top. A utility-heavy setup for Carson and Retchi, both picking up smokes. A flash and a Molotov, but all thrown into this B bomb site as Davey gets dinked.
Big damage early on. Certainly going to make a difference unless someone can step up. Maybe that someone is Z and F. KT inside the smoke gets nothing done meanwhile. Z and F also dealt with, and now Davy's low HP comes into question. He's trying his best not to get taken down, but I think the info that he is gooshed comes in. Really doesn't matter at this point, because he's still alive. Will eventually go down to the P250 of 4-pack, his 3rd of the round, by the way. And now all left on to Flom. Okay, actually manages to get one despite being watched by 3 people. Does have a kit, does have a smoke, good information in as well. It's just finding these shots quickly. It's also running out of time. Man's got to go for it, dude. You've got to move in here. The bomb's so far ticked in and around the pillar. Retchi just gives him the runaround, and Rebirth will come away with that 10th. Also, I think he was dead to rights there as Carson was on that quick flank.
I think as soon as you've got the defuse kit plus smoke in hand on a pistol round especially, you have to just get onto that bomb sooner rather than later. Flom let that one tick far too low. And now Mythic will go for the first full force buy that we've seen from a CT side today. Scriv, we've seen a lot of passive economical play, especially from the T side, I must say, but here it is happening once again for a Mythic CT side. We often characterize these Mythic series as a lot more scrappy, and Katie showing us exactly why with a quick Desert Eagle headshot, a Huandig.
As they say.
That's how they say it in Mexico.
Yeah. South America in general, probably.
That's how the Argentinian Penguins in Happy Feet say it.
Oh, yeah. Famous for their Wandigs.
Famous for their Juanbeaks. I got him. I got him, ladies and gents. I got him.
That is a classic. You got him. My career is over. How will I ever recover? You know.
I'm so proud of myself.
The game is continuing here, so and the push coming in. Eagle of Katie. Oh my goodness, that is an absolute blunder for sure. Flom with a clean headshot, kind of making up for it, keeping the man advantage, and Exotic is low. But still, control of the A-bomb site. Bomb going down, a lapse in concentration from Retchi cost them massive. Curry gets tagged, but he gets the frag. ZNF still alive, the blind spray from Curry, not able to find it, and there you have it. The round goes the way of Mythic, the CT force buy, highly successful in fact.
Yeah, good round.
Still reeling, aren't you?
I just can't take it, Script. Some things just break me, and that one, I don't know if it's too late at night or what's happening, but I'll pull myself together because that was a good round from Mythic. Just those initial shots. Katie opened it up with a 1D, of course, and then just like finished off the round incredibly convincingly. Double digits for Rebirth, but no more found.
I will say it's only 11:30. I'd just like to point out here in the UK that's not gamer hours yet, mate.
Is it? God.
Yeah, it's not even the witching hour just yet. So, I mean, tiredness is a spectrum, I suppose. 4-pack rushing in, takes down Pollen. Great little flash through the smoke there. Will be traded back by Davey. I suppose the smoke towards heaven, I would imagine. A little bit late. Yeah, indeed, he is at heaven, and he gets away with kind of a freebie. The B-bomb site has fallen. The rotations are thick and fast, however. Looking to indeed mount the retake. Bomb's gone down. ZNF finding a good couple before he gets traded out. Curry, meanwhile, charging forwards with the MAC-10. He and Carson doing all the work. Mainly Carson with that 3K. 11th in for Rebirth. Immediately back on the board. Mythic back to the drawing board, so that's somewhat unfortunate. They want to be on the scoreboard, not scribbling away on their flip chart.
Exactly, and already a better T side than we saw from Yeah Gaming yesterday, and I feel like it's that burst of pace which is catching Mythic off guard, especially towards that B bomb site. In the AF plant scenarios, getting up close and personal with the SMGs, that's exactly how they're meant to be played. When you've got a MAC-10 in hand, you've got to get those close quarters combat battles engaged, and with 4-pack needing all the headshots, Flom, he just can't even contend, blasted out of the server, and I think he's going to need a paracetamol for that headache.
May well do.
Maybe
that's a controversial one, isn't it?
A paracetamol.
Or paracetamol.
Oh.
Ooh. Because I think, is paracetamol the American way of saying it? But then also there are people.
I think the American way of saying it is paracetamol.
Okay, well, yeah, obviously. But you know what I mean. Aluminium and aluminum. You can say them in English. Well, in an English accent. But there's one's correct and one isn't. So
controversial subjects.
Yeah. Certainly subjects that wars have been started over. I think they tell you it was the tea, but really it was this new word, aluminium. George Washington went, "It's aluminum."
I actually think that oil is pronounced the same in American and English.
Oil.
Yeah. Oil.
Yeah, maybe. I think the L's are slightly different in American.
Are they a bit harder?
They're a little softer. So I think in English, like, we hit with an ul sound.
All.
Yeah. Whereas in American, it's more of an L, like the actual.
Just like a little tongue flick.
Yeah. Well, try libel.
Libel.
And then, try it in an American accent.
Libel.
Yeah, so you hit the L too hard. It's.
My American accent is good for a British person, but
yeah,
in the ears of an American audience, I don't know. I will keep my eyes on the Twitch chat to see if anybody hates
well,
it.
maybe if you're good, I'll do mine. My Australian accent, I admit, needs some work from yesterday.
Oh, we haven't heard the Scriv American accent.
But my American...
Scriv American. Let's
All
hear
right,
it.
hold on. This is, once again, it's on under pressure, isn't it? Like, stage fright and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this one I genuinely think I'm very good at because I'm Canadian.
Oh,
so.
no. You had to build it up, didn't you? You had to just create that.
Hold on. Shall I cast... I'll cast this round. I think that's better.
No, cast it as an American. It's just an
That's what I mean.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Pawn coming in from Connector, looking to find this first frag. We're actually going to take him down, though. Not looking too good at all. Things are shaping up kind of well for the Rebirth guys. Double in from 4-pack. See, I'm very self-conscious because I'm thinking about the accent while I'm doing it and also casting, right? So it's kind of 3 or 4 things at once. So forgive my casting ability. In that.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It's secondary angle.
I think I could do it a little, but I didn't really like.
No, you didn't commit to the
bit.
bit.
You've
got to either fully commit or not commit.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard when you put under that pressure. But I'll take that. I'll take a compliment from you on my accent.
No, it was good.
But I imagine the chat's going to flame me a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. But right there, Rebirth, they fully commit to that B-bomb site. 5 players alive as a result, and they're already on the home straight, Scriv. These rounds haven't been very interesting at all. Just Mythic with pistols, and now they're back with the M4s in hand. Lots of M4A1Ss, most notably, which is something that we don't often see in Europe. The majority of teams just favouring all 5 M4A4s. Sometimes you see a little straggler over with that silencer, but 3 players, in fact, for Mythic. Picking up the M4 of that silence variety.
I mean, it's been creeping in a bit more.
I will
admit.
I do use the M4A1S.
Yeah, I think teams are maybe theory crafting a little bit in places because of the changes recently. And it is kind of easier to use. Whether it's more effective is another question. But just because of the slower fire rate, it's easy to transfer your spray and readjust and whatnot.
And we did see Davey most notably just using that M4A1S to avail yesterday. That's a poor angle, and 4-pack with the double opener. He finally gets dealt with, and there's Curry on the A bomb site to try and throw a spanner in the works. He's got the fast flank. Davey back with the AK-47, wants to bin the silencer for the more rattly variety premium rifle. He's got an angle under post, and Curry throws a Jalapeno, or a Jalapeno, I should have said, into the mix for round number 14.
Really in with the pronunciation games today, aren't we? But yeah, things really looking up for Rebirth here at the tail end. Mythic, unfortunately, their second half, their CT side, it has escaped them massively. Just the 1 round picked up. That comes off the back of the force buy as well, which you can argue that they can be difficult to deal with. Once the rifles have come into play, Rebirth have looked solid. And that's kind of an issue, I feel, for Mythic. They're going to force halfway down into this one as well, not spending everything. Katie gets aggressive, finds the opener. We talked about the force buy literally just a second ago. And this is a similar scenario. License to be more aggressive, get in the face of your opponents, and put bullets in the face of your opponents, apparently. So Rebirth will have their work cut out for this one. Once again, folks, to remind you, it is the pick of Mythic. So, yeah, they need to turn things around or hope that their Dust 2 is good enough to bring us to a third.
Which I very much doubt. Rebirth's Dust 2, they've gone to it for a reason, for a good reason I might add as well. That's actually the second consecutive half-buy round that Katie has found that initial headshot. Rebirth have to be very careful from this final couple of rounds, perhaps, just to avoid that deagle right off the bat. Carson has the information into the connector, doesn't want to engage into Flom. He's got the 5.7 at the ready. Can be a dangerous weapon at close combat. And Carson absolutely knows this with it firing off for just a couple of shots. Curry wants to wrap in and clamp through in the meantime. And now Flom will be challenged. That AKM retrieval. And now challenged to a secondary headshot. One that he's unable to find. The A-bomb site totally open is Davey. He's doing the damage. We saw this just yesterday, Scriv. And he shows up with the SMG to spray away a pair of players. 20 seconds left. Zotic on the A-bomb site. C4 should easily go down here if he taps these digits in right here, right now. 15 seconds left. Davey might just elect to spray through the smoke. It's the headshot instead. 3 quick kills from him as he wants to repeat history on Overpass.
Oh, my goodness, this would be even more insane than yesterday's, honestly. I think, you know, it was the initial half that went very, very well for yesterday, and then kind of the fall away in their second half. This is a much more difficult journey, I think. Still, they like making life a little hard for themselves. ZNF is actually on 22 frags and they only have 8 rounds. So that, folks, really shows the impact of frags, right? And how important it is about where you get them, not how many, right? Davies' big little clutch. Big little clutch, that
big little planet.
So that's an oxymoron, that is, mate. You know, big clutch coming in the 1-on-3 in the previous. Very, very valuable indeed. Big Cook, Little Cook, you remember that one?
Oh, another, I do, yeah, there
British,
we go.
Another British...
did you play Little Big Planet?
Little.
A little big, I mean. I love
I tell
that
a lie,
game.
bro. I
a
literally didn't.
Great game. No, that was a great game.
I never had a PlayStation.
I feel like that was the original PlayStation 3 release. Oh, I'm getting nostalgic now about Little Big Planet. Even though I can't think... It was called Little Big Planet, wasn't it? Not Big Little Planet. Yeah, Little Big Planet sounds better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Such a great game. Jack and Daxter was another PlayStation classic. Well, an important round. Everyone from here on out will be important for Mythic. They need 8 in a row to close this in regulation. 7 out of 8 will get them to OT. Remember, every single round on the CT side yesterday was incredibly scrappy. It was just... They basically got dragged kicking and screaming just off the back of Davey into that third and final map nuke. They weren't able to close it out, but I think if Mythic have any semblance of a chance in this series... They really have to get the job done here on Overpass. I don't know if that's possible anymore. This should be a much tougher clutch, as you mentioned, Scriv. And with Katie missing that initial shot, that causes and poses problems for the A-bomb site. She re-engages for the first frag. 20 HP remains. Flom able to trade. And no opening kills for Rebirth at the 35-second mark with the bomb in the open.
Early smoke from Flom. Oh, needs to be careful here on the back away. Exotic doesn't quite get the timing, but clearing the angles cleanly. Takes down Katie. That's 1 to work with. Few more required for sure if they are to have a chance at this round. Davey ready and waiting over Optimus. Players towards bank. They're distracted and Davey capitalizes. Big double. 4-pack now the only one left. Finds the first. And there's no time, of course. That 6th enemy that even got away from me. I thought he was going to keep going at it, but no, of course. There was no time. Rebirth will have to live to fight another day. And, I mean, is it going to be in this round? Not sure, but 4-pack, he has very little money to work with.
That's the big gap in the attack. AWP in play. He's on 28 frags. If we're talking somebody top of the scoreboard, he's certainly been somebody really pulling his weight on this Rebirth side. Should be a faster stratagem towards the B bomb site, as 4-pack will be the first man out. Hasn't been too much of a negative factor up close and personal with a sniper rifle, and he maybe even wants to entry once again. Usually you'd perhaps send the pistol in first, and then the AWP in just behind. He wants to take the brunt of this firefight, and with ZNF finding that first frag, he is right over the top of these sandbags. Won't spot anything, instead give a thank you and backtrack. Gotta say, Scriv, I really don't like the Molotov towards that little water cubby position. I don't think it really gives you too much if you don't have a boost in place.
Yeah, maybe autopiloting a little. 4-pack. Patience will pay off. Looking for a little more, but no one giving him the chance. Ooh, Pollen with a dangerous swing. Gets taken down by Carson, meanwhile, in transition. This is big. 4-on-3. Davey, a hero in so many of these CT-sided rounds. He's going to have to do it again, losing even more members of his team. Does get one. That's not enough so far. Needs way more than this, and he will get taken down. At the same time, Flom falls. 15-9. The ball dropped, and that's the difficulty of the comeback, of course. As soon as you make that mistake, you're straight back to square one. Rebirth, meanwhile, using another timeout here to make sure they can seal the deal, put that final nail in the coffin, get us finished off and moved into map 2.
So interesting. Shows that Rebirth aren't taking this one for granted whatsoever. They've got 6 chances, I should say, to close it out. And with Rebirth, not tons of cash in the bank accounts, this should be Rebirth's best opportunity to close it early. They know this. That's why they've taken the tack. Obviously wanting to close this out 16-9 to close away Overpass, knowing that this is their best opportunity to finish off this series. Obviously, that would put them 1-0 with their map pick coming up next. And with a stand-in for both squads, they've just been by far the most decisive team. And with Dust 2 coming up next, a very AWP-heavy affair. If 4-pack has anywhere near the same performance, this might be a quick 2-0, and Mythic might not be able to get the job done in this one. They were narrow favourites for my money coming into this. And 4-pack finishing off the series perhaps as he started. Quick headshot, sensational onto Katie. She's been hitting that shot pretty routinely, but not this time. She gets executed.
Very, very quiet here. Minute 15. We've not really had too much since that first frag, Mythic. No real movement from them, honestly. ZNF, angry spray down, I think that was. The smoke comes to the end of its life in all fairness, so I think that's perhaps where it comes from. Great little flash. No one around to help him out. They are wildly split here on the CT side. Not really set up to deal with the push. They go straight into the crosshair of ZNF. 4-pack, though, watching behind. Davey, meanwhile, chiming in. I mean, the frontal attack is solid, but the rear not looking good. It's 2 different split fights there. However, Rebirth, they come out on top of both of the situations, securing themselves that first map, stealing Mythic's map pick away.
Really convincing stuff here on Overpass. Lead of 7 to close it out, and Mythic just didn't stand a chance. Maybe Dust 2 will be a little bit better. We'll find out after the break if that's the case. Don't go anywhere for perhaps the final map of the day coming after this.
My name is Trace Saranthus. I am building a PC for Jordan Gilbert.
My goal was really to get something that was no compromise, super powerful, and ideally not built by Trace.
Yes, thank you so much, Jordan Gilbert. You know, we don't make mistakes around here. We made happy accidents.
I got a booster seat here. Enter now for a chance to win one of 3 PCs built by me, Jason, or Trace.
a bench, waiting for the time to pass, dreaming of what happens next. I see what I wanna be, questioning my destiny, only knowing what I see. I don't even realize I've already made a path, and I can change it anytime. I can't take it back. I know what I want, but it seems so damn far away. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. And you say you wanna be somebody. Then you better use it. Tell yourself day after day it's time to prove it. No days off, keep the hustle moving. Wanna see you be what you wanted to be, prove it. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. And you say you wanna be somebody. And you say you wanna be somebody. And you say you wanna be somebody. And you say you wanna be somebody.
I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best, my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at. And that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'm a dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting the blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now.
When I saw you look at me that way, it broke my heart to see. It was a moment of darkness, a moment in time that I regret for being so heartless. It was a moment of darkness. Look at me that way, it broke my heart to see. It's too hard, it don't come easy. I went dark, I lost it right away. And when it starts, God knows what I'll say. In my head, I had good reason. I went red so unexpectedly. I should have said that sometimes happens to me. It was a moment of darkness, a moment in time that I regret for being so heartless. It was a moment of darkness.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, and GG.Bet.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. You're watching perhaps what might eventuate to be the final map of this series and the final map of the night, sadly, Scriv. It's Rebirth versus Mythic. Rebirth just taken Mythic's map pick incredibly decisively as well, off the back of a massive 4-pack performance. 31 kills, I think, to end up that first map. And Dust 2, it's the Orpa's playground, of course. Seeing if they can do it once again, this time starting from the terraced side. It's that raid boss setup to start for Carson. Actually not a raid boss, he doesn't have the body armor behind him. P250, bit of equipment in the form of a smoke and a flash. Double smokes, usually a set play for this A long area, but instead this time straight towards the lower B tons, and Mythic actually quite nicely set up to deal with this one.
Ooh, you say that. And things are going relatively well. 4-pack taking down Davey. Pollen quickly towards B. Needs to be careful here. There's nades in hand for Carson. That's a little awkward. I think he was certainly dead to rights if 2 players are shooting at him. A deep smoke here into the double doors. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Pollen, though, swinging in for 2. Oh, my goodness. That's incredibly crisp. Leaving it all down to Curry now for Rebirth. 1-on-2. Both players peeking into him. Nice and coordinated, but they don't want to go too deep, right? Keeping pressure on the bomb, the kit retrieved, the smoke retrieved. Flom is going to give this defuse a good go, and ZNF will hold him off. Finds the head, but I think the round over at that point just because Curry was not close enough to the bomb. Mythic coming away with the pistol. All thanks to Pollen, I think, that round.
Yeah, exactly what they needed right there. Those double entries from Pollen. We saw it before on Overpass. Saw it before yesterday as well. Such a sensational member of this Mythic side. 1-0 ahead now as the rifles do come through for Rebirth. We didn't see this wholesome force buy earlier. That was just off the back of the bomb not going down in those specific maps. This time it does. Gives you a bit of extra cash to work with. A lot of extra cash to work with, in fact, in the form of these AK-47s. Curry doesn't want to keep the angle posted, instead minimal damage dealt by the Molotov. And heading towards this upper mid area, Pollen sensationally close to connecting that headshot, as short seems to be the approach. Flash over the top, here comes the repeak, but those smokes are going to prevent any visual.
Minute and 20. It is really about to burst, about to boil over. They're just walking in here. This is somewhat unorthodox, but it is kind of catching the CTs off guard. No deep utility. No giving the game away early, I suppose, is the logic from Rebirth here. And indeed, they've lost no players. Bomb goes down without a single frag occurring here in round number 2. See whether this force buy pays off. The first frag finally comes in. Of course, it is Davey to break the silence, or rather not with the MP5. Gets a couple more. Looking solid. Yes, they get the bomb down, but Rebirth have done, well, nothing else since. Clean stuff. 3k on the MP5 SD, a weapon that you see very rarely, in fact. And there you have it. Mythic. I mean, sure, cool, you get the bomb, but that is a very clean anti-force buy from them.
Yeah, the MP5 is usually just one of the more horrible SMGs, especially as you increase those ranges. Davey doesn't seem to care, though, with the 3k, and he trades up to the 8k. 2-0 Mythic. Very convincing round, considering that bomb goes down in a 5 versus 5. Rebirth, funnily enough, just don't hold on to it with anything. Not a single frag found. And Mythic now can start to stabilize that control. And Rebirth a double dip with the bomb plan. Extra cash once again. The Galils come through. And they might be about to give Mythic quite the lead going into this one. If they're able to take this one convincingly without that C4 going away, there's a definite opportunity for a 4-0 start here. For the underdogs here on Dust 2, especially so, considering this is not one of their more staple maps. I think they need their key fraggers to come in big, Davey being one of them. Just playing around these smokes with the AK-47, spray away through, not much damage, but there, changes matters, instantly drops though, cannot capitalize, and now Pollen challenged. Heavy damage by the 8Gs, as he's got the secondary angle fully under place, boost right over the top, and Katie's able to convert. Bomb goes down in the open, Rebirth stuck in their tracks. This certainly doesn't look like a good B take, as 4-Pack finds a TK in the meantime, and Pollen's there to close. 3-0, should be 4 for Mythic.
Absolutely solid stuff from Mythic so far, isn't it? Looking really, really good. This, of course, being the pick of Rebirth, but a map that is so very up in the air. Both teams effective. Of course, they know how to do it. And I would imagine a Puggy style will be employed, particularly by Mythic. So, Rebirth, not able to get a foot in the door in the force buy. Or in that. And probably not in this round. It's tough. It's very tough indeed for the T-sides. More of a T-sided map for sure, so you'd expect them to pick up the majority of their rounds here. Whether that'll be the case or not, I mean, we'll see. At the moment, if it continues the way it started, Mythic are really, really clean. More nade damage after the opening frag. Oh. Curry, though. Ferrari peeking in. Katie, clean little angle, manages to get one, looking for more, needs to be careful, bites off a bit more than she can chew. ZNF also getting clapped out. He does find one before going down, but all the same, this is actually much more damage than I was expecting, and a bomb plant, and a possibility at winning the round. Look at the flank.
Davy's right in behind, needs to connect with the M for A4, and is unable to sweep away that headshot. Zotic staying alive, and straight into the CT spawn. Davy needs to convert both of these kills, takes a lot of damage in the process, and with Zotic taking a more favourable angle, Davy can't convert, instead gets his head blown clean away. The M for A1S now AK retrieved. Is Rebirth able to steal away there first? He talked about that 4-0 start for Mythic. It doesn't come through in the meantime. There's the AWP picked up. Once again, that should go towards 4-Pack, as he will contend for that mid spot, I'm sure. Doesn't have a long spawn, so we'll be a little bit late to the party, especially against ZNF, who, well, he's going to take mid instead. Takes a cautionary cursory shot through, not connecting though. This is funny. Obviously, the double AWP setup prioritized. Katie just down to the Desi.
Close. Not quite hitting the mark. Waiting for a flash, maybe? No, just taking another shoulder peek. Nothing coming just yet. Up will be boosted up. ZNF. One of the standout players over on Overpass. It wasn't really enough. Can he repeat the performance? That's the real question, and the AWP might be the way to do it. So far, actually not looking too bad. You know, 4 kills in the opening round's pretty decent. Flom. Wallbang headshot comes in as they cross. Looking for more, and he will get it. A great setup on short from him. Solid stuff. Loving this angle. They're trying to creep under his crosshair. They'll do so as well. KT falls, but at this point, damage has really been done. All onto Retchi. Has to clutch up against 4. Runs out of ammo. And Pollen will finish him off. So there you have it. Mythic straight back on the board.
I thought that would certainly be enough for Rebirth. You see those flashbangs just peppering into ZNF's position. He was rendered completely blind and useless on that A bomb site, unable to connect with any of those initial shots, which you do have to hit as that main AWPer. Obviously, they have Flom to bail them out of Worlds of Trouble, but the wallbang headshot follows it up onto a second, and Rebirth just held it at arm's length once again. Taking a lot of sting out of this Rebirth tail on this second map, I've got to say. This A bomb site execute and actually back to B as well, just a little slow and stunted. They're allowing these Mythic rotates to come through, and you can't allow this Mythic side to really find their confidence, find that footing. When they have so many bodies ready and waiting, that firepower is there to contend. We could certainly go to a third map as a response. How often do we see Scriv, these sort of series, go that absolute distance? And this one might be no exception. AK-47 on the floor for Pollen. Obviously, he will be sending that one towards a long, wanting that one-tap potential that this AK provides, along with that incent to go down first. That's going to stun any semblance of a peek. It doesn't land perfectly, but that smoke definitely does to isolate Curry.
Up short they will go here. Early Molotov. And honestly, there's not going to be all that much resistance. Not sure if I'm a fan of this setup. Flom on the AWP, and sure, he had a decent round in the previous, but all the same. Meanwhile, at middle, small bits of tension from the T side. It's very, very slow. It's very, very quiet. Very tense in this round. Mythic unsure of the approach from Rebirth in both the sense of the buy and where they're situated. 4-pack finds the first, looking to move away. Curry, Mac 10 out, very late indeed. Katie, while blind, gets the second. They just walk straight into the crosshair. The info not through fast enough, but then out tunnels they go, catching her off guard. And they have, of course, lost the man on the B-bomb site. He took a swing, did Davey, out at window. Might just be the difference maker in this round as the bomb goes down.
God, KT is doing maximum damage right now. 3 frags, that HE connects, and KT might just have done enough. Carson can't find that final shot, and Mythic, they're good for 5. Every time you lose that B-bomb site, Scriv, it gets incredibly dangerous, but they're able to convert just primarily off the back of KT. If she tries to take that initial fight there on the B-bomb site, with those inverted double doors, you think that it's probably all over there. We see a 3 versus 3 situation come through, and then Rebirth probably hold it off. Just that maximum effectiveness, the HE perfect, all of those shots found, and most importantly, taking 4-pack's AWP to task. That blind shot towards mid as well. So many key moments as Flom just blundered that initial smoke towards the middle of the map. That's a bit of a mistake, but shouldn't be too costly here, as Rebirth going for long control instead.
KT once again, right place, right time. The spray, it takes a while, but she does indeed get it transferred onto the P2K. Meanwhile, may well be tough, but against an AWP, it's not the worst weapon. Would have died having an M4 out there.
Can I just ask, Scriv, how does 4-pack get there so fast? How did that happen?
I know. Absolutely mental. Once again, I think we're in for a ride here on Dust 2. Rebirth looking good into this round. However, finally, the quick aggression, keeping the buys coming and coming, has paid off. Or has it, right? Pollen could still clutch this.
And I think one that he is going to want to go for, he's feeling it 10-2 right now. And if he finds, sweeps away an initial headshot, then this becomes doable. But 4-pack takes the swing. Perfect timing to catch with an incend in hand. 5-2 now. I would want to see more of that from Rebirth. That fast stratagem towards A-Long, not contended with nicely. KT obviously finds 2 shots, but it's still not good enough against 4-pack. He was the main man in the previous map and leading the charge on the scoreboard once again. 6-6. Isn't being as effective, but still very early days in that AWP, only really making its first mark on the server right now. Not going to catch anybody on the cross. If you take that shot, you leave yourself vulnerable to an opposing AWP. We see that there's not one on the server. It's just the pistols for Mythic. Lots of very just close scenarios, and well, this one shouldn't be anything of the sort. Pistol swept aside. Z and F and Pollen, last 2 remaining, now just the former. Ooh.
Well then.
That's a way to do it.
They have just rolled over that round, have they not? Absolutely solid stuff. Very quick indeed.
You are Morris Moss, are you not?
That one, I don't know.
That's an IT Cried reference.
You have me there, mate. Did say I don't really watch the sitcoms.
Oh no. Richard Ayoade, though.
Yeah.
I met Richard Ayoade outside the Imperial War Museum.
Hell yeah. Where else, mate? Where else are you going to do that guy?
I think that might be one for the Tinder bio.
Maybe.
2 truths and a lie.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. True. All right, it's been another speedy round here, Squid. 2 for 2 so far. 4-pack spotted out. Plays it on the site, Z and F. He spins around, takes down 1. Excuse me, I've got other things to attend to here. Is left relatively low, though. The issue is Z and F needs to die because the bomb can't make it to the site without him falling. Arguably, can't make it there anyway. He's trying to come up short. Retchi,
does he go towards B?
Are ringing. I guess so. Retchi winning his fights over here. Doesn't matter because he gets the 2K. That's a quick flick onto the second. Very well done. Rebirth it feels in the matter of a couple minutes have turned this from a 5-1 to a 5-4 scoreline.
Absolutely, and that's just about speeding up this pace. We saw that initial round onto A long, which really did change the pace here for this terrorist side, and Rebirth now starting to take control. They're up against the pistols once again and should be able to level this 5-5. Mythic really struggling to get to these magical number of rounds. You probably need to take 8 or 9 to feel comfortable on your T side, and we see Retchi removing that silencer. This is something that I've only ever seen once in my casting career, and it was in the Nest Pro Series Female Edition, Scriv.
Hey, listen, man. It sounds really great without the silencer. That's all I'm saying. That's not what it sounds like. But I do think it sounds a lot better for sure. Other than that, you know, the trade-off of the length versus
do you really want to trade length, though, Scriv? That's a question every man needs to ask himself. Can you afford to lose that extra 2 inches?
Right, but like, because when you're around corners and stuff, it's harder to be seen. But the sound it makes, obviously, like through smokes and stuff, is a big difference. It's just funny at the end of the day. Ooh, okay. KT, Flom, both chiming in. I believe the bomb has dropped down towards CT. No, it was recovered. 1 for 1 once again. KT doing a decent job. Actually a 2 for 1 overall. And the boys are here. The cavalry has arrived. The AK's been retrieved. The header's been found. The bomb being planted. 4-pack now into the one-on-one against Flom. Looking good here. As he will play inside the smoke. Yeah, I think this looks pretty solid. Flom, it's going to be so hard. Really is going to be hard. Unless he can land the shots. 4-pack is making that very difficult with these shoulder peaks. Jumping up. Smoke goes onto the bomb. Ooh, gets the knife out. I think that's a wise move and will left-click him to death. 5th round for Rebirth, but very, very costly.
Absolutely so. And only with a couple of pistols in hand, they're able to do the damage. And Rebirth, obviously a little flustered about that. They'll take another tactical timeout. That's the second utilized on this T side. As I love it when I see teams actually taking this short break of pace. You've got 30 seconds to discuss, to, really just chill those nerves. Obviously, you're going to be feeling them. You're out of the tournament if you lose 2 maps in a row here if you're Rebirth. For Mythic, obviously, this is a pressure scenario. It's not your map pick. If you lose it, you're out of the tournament in its entirety. 5-5, a key swing situation is Mythic back with the rifles. All of the M4A4s in hand. Couple of silenced rifles as we talked about before, Scriv, and no orbs most notably. On Dust 2, that's a real problem. They're prioritizing the utility instead. You see, yes, ZNF actually could have got out the glass cannon. Flom could have actually went for the AWP and a bit of body armor, but elects not to do so. They want to apply this 5 automatic rifle setup. And this could be a real problem maker if Rebirth wants to now slow this down and play these longer distance engagements, allowing 4-pack the space.
Early damage onto Pollen. Bit of a slower approach, he says, and then of course the flash comes into short from the CT side. Very nicely done, very well read, and the easiest kill ZNF has had all series. And an early opener for Mythic. That's exactly what they needed. Meanwhile, the burst onto B coming in here. Davey and Pollen to hold things down. Pollen looking good from backplat. He's mollied. He's 1 HP. Will be finished off, but surely has done enough unless 4-pack, hero of the round, can make a difference. So far, picking up 2, has brought it even. Looking for the 3rd in the tunnels, and he will find it. Bomb goes down. All onto ZNF. Looking to find the clutch, but he cannot. 1-on-2 does not happen. And Rebirth, oh my goodness, they are ecstatic after that round.
And especially 4-pack, he's so strong, they should call him 6-pack. 12-6 right now on that KD, with $11,000 in the bank account. He's going to be pulling it in for, well, a couple more rounds at least. That AWP has been so influential. We talked about Dust 2 being an Orpa's playground. It has been, but namely for him. And Flom now wants to contest and challenge with the AWP. I think all eyes on 4-pack right now on this T side, as he seems to be the main man. Another triple kill from him in the last round, and wanting to repeat history this time towards the middle of the map against Flom. Just the Desert Eagles in play. We saw KT employing this on Overpass. pass at these longer distance angles. She certainly knows how to connect with these headshots, and well, she's got another sneaky angle to utilize here towards A long. If she misses just one shot, that flash is absolutely horrendous. Isn't going to do all too much, and this Desert Eagle just not finding the connections required. She's going to get taken out, and of course it's Pack to do once more the heavy lifting, as he is finding seemingly every single shot. Curry spices it up in the meantime, and these pistols being nicely dealt with. CZ, weak at long range, and there's Pack for another one. Back-to-back triple kills for him.
Exotic cleans up, and the 7th comes in for Rebirth. They have really picked the pace up, to pick up all these rounds and just ask Mythic, can you match? Can you keep up? The answer has been no. For the past 6, if I'm remembering correctly. Indeed it is. It's been all about Rebirth. Some close, some not so close. Mythic in with another buy. No AWP in play. Great little flash over the top. Somehow Curry doesn't quite land that one. Staying in the fire for a while. Yep, Bogdan laws himself. Fair enough. And obviously takes an awful lot of damage. Nothing coming off the back of it, though. It's not the end of the world when you have that AWP, right? Bogdan's law. For those of you that don't know...
No, you're not allowed to tell them. It's an unspoken law.
No. We've been talking about content ideas. One of mine is to, explain what Bogdan's law is.
Bogdan's law. That could be the first video.
It could. Flom finding the opener out. Explain Bogdan's law after the round, okay? Because you know what it is. A lot of the time, there's even casters that I work with that aren't quite sure, which is fair, right? If you didn't catch it, or if you don't spend time on Reddit or whatever. Either way, 4-on-3. KT in from behind has to do absolute work here. Does find one. Davey also chiming in. And it's back into a 2-on-2 pretty much instantaneously. And
these... maybe the two better members that you'd want in a 2 versus 2 clutch here for Mythic. They have to pull it through right now. Otherwise, Rebirth, they've just taken way too many rounds this half. Carson finds the first, and now KT may be beaten to the punch on this challenge. The silencer needs to connect with all of these headshots, and Zotic just delays the fake flash. So audacious. KT almost connecting onto the second as well. Carson in the open, and the 8K comes out. It's the flash in hand as Carson takes the swing for number 8. Rebirth, that's the mathematical lead at the end of the half. And a tactical timeout, Scriv. You know what this means. Bogdan's law. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so when someone is low and there's an AWP on the team, you drop the AWP to them because the logic is, while you're low HP, it doesn't really make too... Of course, went across to Valorant. Shame on him. I don't know why I said Valorant. It's
Valorant.
But,
the little esport, Valorant.
Got him. But all the same, he was streaming. Bogdan was another guy in FPL. Asked him for the AWP because he was on low HP. Steel goes, lol, no, you're terrible. I want an AWP. And I mean, it was probably a bit more colourful.
Isn't it? It's literally
more colourful than that. And the thing is, Bogdan was right. He was like, no, this is what we should do. It's like the play, bro. Just let me do it. I can swing out. You can pick it back up after I die or if I die, right? And then there was this guy who put together a video of other pro players doing exactly the same. So it turns out Bogdan was right when Steel was telling him, no, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. I think more so he didn't quite explain in the moment. Steel didn't want to do it because he just, didn't like the guy or his ability. Yeah, for sure, right? But in terms of the objective decision, it is the correct thing to do, and that's why you see it so much in pro play.
Yeah, it just seems a bit like common sense.
Yeah. No, I totally agree why Steel's doing it. The thing is, you give him the AWP, and, I don't know, he does something stupid, like just dies out in the open, so it's hard to retrieve the AWP, or...
I wonder why that became so big. I think it's just such a smart in-game leader got it so wrong. It's like if...
In a way,
Pythagoras got a maths question wrong.
I genuinely do. Yeah, true. I do think in his head, it's just because he didn't want to and doesn't trust the guy to pull something off. Like, he's not simple, but he didn't quite explain that in the moment, so it looked like he was just drastically wrong. Retchi charging in, opening up. Davey on the AWP, though. Bogdan's lot. No, I think he already had it. But all the same, 4-on-3. Looking good here. Through the smoke as well. Young Dave. Solid stuff from him. 4-pack will teach him who's boss, but the round, all said and done, that will be all she wrote for the first half.
Dave wrapping up the first half, and it's 9-6 for Rebirth. Similar scoreline once again, and 7 away from knocking Mythic out of these IEM Beijing close qualifiers. Can they do it? We'll find out after a break.
What it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Go save your team, be a hero. Take home the cup, be a star. They waiting for you, take aim, shoot your arrow. It's your time to shine, show them who you are. Stronger, gotta go faster, gotta get better, gotta work harder. It's fight or flight now, getting it up now. Go with the move, go for the goal, lead up the stadium, you know how it's done. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you back out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you back out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you back out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle.
I've been working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes.
A bit wild, you know. When I'm wild, I'll...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Half number 2 here between Mythic and Rebirth. Rebirth just 7 rounds away from knocking this Mythic squad out of these IEM Beijing close qualifiers. Next 10-15 minutes might do it. This pistol round might put them over the top, at least to double digits. Here is Pollen wants to get up close and personal with a Glock 18.
Unfortunately, no one is around, at least at the moment. He's taking these passive angles, waiting for the flash to come over, I suppose. Exotic, although not massively blinded, does have to step back, create space for the smokes to come in. What's the response from the CT side? The flash over the top, not really all that effective. The second one, though, is, and Pollen gets taken down through the smoke by Curry. He ran into it for cover. Of course, though, it is all a ruse. It is all a fake. The bomb will be planted on the B-bomb site. It's cost them a couple heads, and therefore a 5-on-3 for Rebirth to perhaps secure things. Maybe not, though. Flom on the flank does get one. Second through on this retake for the CT side. Katie trying to do what she can, but it's not an awful lot. And there you have it. Rebirth come away with the 10th. That is certainly not what Mythic wanted. Bomb plant is nice, though. Bomb plant is nice.
Yeah, it gives them some bonus cash. I'd expect the rifles to come out in the next. We always see the Galils in this scenario. Maybe an AK-47 for Katie, perhaps, if she doesn't want to go for that head armor as well. Really wouldn't be surprised to see it going into round number 17 as Rebirth. They get rifles of their own. Expect to see minimal SMGs out of this scenario, considering that bomb does go down. They want to be able to contend with the fight that's going to be coming up to grasping. Well, Davey, Katie, both picking up the brunt of those rifles. I'd love to see Pollen with one as well. And maybe even Katie with the Desert Eagle. She seems very proficient with it. Instead, she's got the AK-47 and straight out towards A long to contend with the incendiary grenade. $600 forces her back.
What is happening here? This is so wild to me that they're able to just walk down middle like this. Flash goes in. There's literally no one here. Oh, it's kind of dangerous playing 2 in on your B bomb site. Maybe if it's super weak, but yeah, like, you get overwhelmed. Doesn't even find one there, Exotic. Retchi has to do everything. Only good for one. That's the round. These players are way too far away. And they're a man down. Unless Mythic give away a free frag, I think this round is over.
And it might even be Katie to make the first mistake, going for the swing, not challenged. And there's Davey with a headshot. That is right through those double doors. Brutal onto Curry, who, well, is just kept in an arm's length. And with the flank coming through from Flom, this AK-47 should be able to at least rip Carson out of the server. Don't know if he checks for 4-pack in this scenario. He's towards the CT spawn, but with the MP9 watching back, Flom should be able to only find one out of this scenario. And 4-pack, where comes the response? There it is, but only the 1-for-1 trade and an AK-47 secured. That's all Rebirth have to work with. Such an awful defense, though. Nobody towards the middle of the map there for Rebirth, not putting a scout there whatsoever. They went for those M4s and Famises and wanted to play the turtle setup, but that doesn't work out on Dust 2. You need to be contending for this map control. You cannot just let a team like Mythic execute onto your bomb site. This is my swamp. 3 rounds to deficit, and Rebirth, they are still 6 away from the finish line.
Yeah, really did need them, I think, especially in a round like that, where, you know, you're forcing up most likely off the back of the bomb plant. Whoa, okay, Katie, nice little shot coming in. Still going for the peaks after that. Credit to Exotic. But yeah, I think it's a round where they're more likely than not just going to be balled up, right? And looking to burst out, catch you off guard. It's a lot of what Dust 2 is about, honestly. So the fact that mid is... Look, I get a passive hold, but it literally had no attention paid to it at all. You could have someone in CT, so that, yes, you've got 2 on the B-bomb site directly, but then you drag someone across from A to sit CT, but they're still not away from A, right? I think just leaving it completely open, they were expecting, it'll be fine, some utility will come in, and then we can have a look. But by that point, it was just already too late, it felt like.
And this should be Mythic's way back into this one. The Eco will come up next. Curry not able to find any kills there. And Zotic should be soon to fall as well. Not catching, well, only the tag on the cross. That's nice. If it was the headshot, maybe Pollen goes down. Flom certainly does. There's the trade. Simple round for Mythic. Surviving with 3. These rifles retained. Even an M4 picked up for ZNF in this scenario. Money really starting to build now for the team Mythic, and should continue to do so going into round number 19, just against the USPSs here. Carson, 1 smoke grenade to work with. This, Scriv, is where I'd love to see a defuse kit, just to prove my theory right. I'm just going to predict it right now. If in 5 years' time, when we've got next level Counter-Strike stats, I'm sure that the defuse kit buy is going to be the staple in every round.
Maybe. Maybe in that Source 2 engine, baby!
That's 10 years.
It's 20 years, bro. It's, you know, we jest, but it's probably true. It's probably true.
I think Christina Perry sung a song about Source 2. It's 1,000 years. I think the song is.
Right, okay. Right. You know, I won't lie, I was going to say, who is that? But then when you said 1,000 years, it's like, okay, I see. You sing a bit?
No, oh no, I don't actually know it. I'm just a trivia man. That's just my years of watching The Chase.
I'm sorry to have pushed you that way. They actually picked up 3 kills here. I mean, they're literally useless, but it does damage to the economy.
I also think Jar of Hearts is about source 2 as well.
Is that like Birdie or something?
No, it's another Christina Perri song.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I'm not.
How dare you?
I know the song. I know the song. No, I know the song, but I just.
That's fair enough.
Don't really know. It's one of those songs that you hear, probably know the chorus, don't know who sung it, also don't really care because it sort of comes on
as well, isn't it? It's a bit last decade.
Yeah, the 90s and noughties were relatively terrible for music.
I feel like Jar of Hearts was maybe like 2012, which is still last decade.
Technically speaking, doesn't feel like it yet.
No,
but yeah,
not yet.
Especially because this year is just not counted at all.
I feel like this year counts as a decade.
But then it also doesn't, in terms of time.
Thanks.
No, I just mean like, I'm agreeing with you. In terms of time, it feels like a decade.
Oh, yeah.
But it also is a write-off of a year. There's a lot to unpack here.
We need a scientist. We need to get like Chris Whitty on the broadcast, and he can break down if this year counts.
Who are
as
these
a
people?
decade.
I'm sorry, but
Chris Whitty is the
Christina Perri. I'll give you. I should probably know that.
Chris Whitty is the chief medical officer of the UK.
I should probably know that as well.
Yeah, that was one to know. Yeah.
Again, I know who that guy is because I see him on my TV a lot.
Yeah, he's the red guy.
But I didn't know his name. He's just the medical guy to me. Or, if you have to be mean, he's the red guy. See the one with the bushy eyebrows?
Yes.
Yes.
He's the very sad-looking man. It's because he knows our future. He's very sad about it.
Yeah. And he also knows the government is ignoring everything he is telling them. He's just there on the TV to save face.
Well, as a
Even
credit
to
the Counter-Strike community, Boris Johnson's locked me in my office for a month just to cast.
I know, what a nice guy.
That's a service. Should get an OBE for that or another one.
People are still going to school and going to university, but I can't go to the gym for some reason. Even though I think there's only been like a handful of cases through the gym. I hope Boris isn't watching. I don't mean to knock him. From time to time, he does make a silly decision.
I can't go to the gym for another reason, and it's just a phobia.
Right. Of course.
It's an irrational fear of exercise.
Have you had that one since secondary school, right?
I've had that one since about 11 years old.
I have a phobia. Here is a note from me mum that says...
That's pretty accurate. Scary.
Yeah. Forgive her handwriting. She has only 2 fingers.
put the crystal ball away. Don't take account that the date has been scribbled over 8 times. That was the one that we go. 17 becomes a 22 very easily when you want to avoid PE.
Indeed. PE being gym class. Just to highlight. Either way, into round number 21 here. Things have been evened up. Carson, in the same moment that he dies, it seems, finds a frag. Davey, meanwhile, opening up, looking clean. Exotic, chilling at the end, waiting and biding his time. Very patient moves indeed. Does manage to find the head of one. The second escapes him. And I feel 4-pack will look to save this all-important AWP into that next round. Apparently not, though. Pushing forwards. Does find the frag onto Flom. Don't think you win this, buddy, but all the same, damage being done, right? Bringing the economy down of that T side. Mr. Moneybags Davey will support, but at the same time, things are looking pretty good for Mythic as they take the lead.
Yeah, and 4-pack just hasn't had the same effectiveness, has he, with the AWP? He's got plenty of options on the floor, but Davey takes it away along with his face. That's the lead for Mythic right now, and this is looking scarily similar to the comeback yesterday, Scriv, where Mythic, they were quite far behind, then able to get the job done. That was on the CT side. Now the Terrace side being the main focal point for them. 5 away from taking us to another map 3. And, well, wouldn't this be a storyline for Mythic if they're able to keep all of these series alive from start to finish of this close qualifier? They don't want to stay at home. They don't want to not go to IEM Beijing. Of course, both these teams will be staying in their bedrooms. Maybe we get to go to Beijing.
Not for a while yet, mate. That one is to remain untouched, but yeah, I think for a while. Especially for us here in the UK. Either way. Solid buy-in from both sides. Double up set up on the CT side. Very little util to work with. Ollie's going in. Is it deep enough? I don't think so. Curry has a great spot here. 4-pack finds one despite being blind. They will check their angles. That's solid from Katie. Very well done indeed. Not only to check it, but also to find the frag. However, it's still a man advantage for the CT side going into the retake.
I mean, the AWP for 4-pack, he needs to connect once again, and the double AWP setup becomes a real problem maker here for Rebirth, as they want to get back into this bomb site. Those flashes flawless once more, as Flom can't find anything. Now the wraparound comes through, as Flom needs to do absolutely everything. No shots found, as Rebirth will close up this scoreline. Where is the defuse kit from 4-pack? It's actually Carson to get on the bomb instead, but he's got plenty of time, of course. 11-11 will be that scoreline. Always gives me jittery knees when I see that defuse kit just rummaging around trying to find nades off the ground instead. We have seen a couple of mistakes in the open qualifiers, especially just to those defuse kits being in the wrong place at the wrong time and not able to close out the round. 11-11, a round that Rebirth really needed to take right there. And Carson, the only recipient of a big disastrous headshot, has to reinvest into this one. And it is that dropped over AK-47 to do the trick. 18 and 15 for him. 4-pack leading the charge with 23. Gone a little bit quiet over the last couple of rounds as Flom takes the AWP challenge towards the middle of the map. I think he needs to step up as well. Mythic, it needs to be the team effort here on the terrorist side as they spread towards mid, which Rebirth are giving them full control of. 4-pack not finding anything. There goes an aggressive smoke away, but that one's absolutely horrible as Retchi, I think, forced back here. Minimal damage by the HE. It's spread between 3 players. It's Flom the first to drop.
Recovery is certainly needed. These rounds are so impactful. Dribble smokes are in. Only going down to keep them at bay, at least for now, but they're hoping someone comes in behind a little too early. It's actually a CT drop. Beautifully done. Katie takes down Retchi. 4-pack up close and personal. This is so tough. Pre-fires coming in. So well played. Ooh, it's Pollen for that frag, but Katie was damn close. Spray down for Curry, but he's the only one left, of course. 50 seconds remain, and he will look to save for 45 of them as the bomb goes down. So there you are.
That round was definitely deep inside the strat book for Mythic. One that they wanted to whip out at the right time. Certainly something that's been plotted, of course, maybe by some of the masterminds of this roster. Davey certainly being one of them. Loves to dig deep into the strategy and analyst in all proportions. And, well, there's nothing really for Curry to do about that one. I loved it. You saw that bomb just isolated towards the upper B tons, not overcommitting. And then as that CT swing came through, Rebirth severely outmaneuvered and Curry severely outgunned. 12-11. Expect a tactical pause here. I think this is actually for Mythic. I can see it in the admin console, but might even be a technical one. I'm not sure. We'll see in the next couple of moments. Here we go. We'll see it. There we go. Of course, Rebirth don't actually have any more tactical timeouts, by the way. They've used all of them as of the scoreline being 10-10. Which we don't often see, really, do we, Scriv?
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that I think underuse their timeouts, particularly when they're ahead. Right, it has started to bleed into the lower tiers of European Counter-Strike. But there's kind of that argument when you're like 5-1 up, lose a round, take a timeout. Why not? You've got plenty. And it's good to see. It is good to see that Rebirth and Mythic, but more so Rebirth, going through their timeouts. Okay, Flom. Early opener coming in. Looking good as the half buy from Rebirth with the AWP in play. Oh, not working out. Flom up close gets the perfect timing. First frag comes in. Second as well, chimes through. Exotic on the AWP, looking to do his best 4-pack impression, but gets caught recocking the AWP. ZNF will get the double to close out the round. 13 for Mythic secured.
And this is where it starts to get dangerous for Rebirth. They'll go for another buy in round number 25, but if Mythic find it, this should surely be 15-11 before they can get back on the board, and no break of pace for Rebirth. I'm sure they would have loved to take a tactical timeout. Mythic actually do give them a little break in the last. And remember, those timeouts can benefit both teams. You can get the coach involved, really start those conversations and open it up for only the 30 seconds. Flom does go down right off the bat. Lots of long control here for Rebirth as they might want to isolate this one. Sort of out in the open, and that is a big mistake against the flashbangs. Katie finding everything. There's another headshot for all three.
Oh, 4-pack though. Still alive. Looked solid on the previous map. Katie coming through for a 4th. And now Carson is the only one left. 3 players to find, not looking too good for him. He's barely any information to work with, right? The one player up short is pretty much following in his footsteps. I believe he has been spotted here. KT going for the ace. Will get it. And Mythic moving up to 14. This is not looking good for Rebirth CT side. Lacking money and lacking room to play with.
And lacking confidence as well. 4-pack just hasn't been hitting his shots. He's still got 25. I find it really hard to criticize him. Just not putting up that massive star-studded performance, that impact that he had earlier on Overpass. The Pistons not firing around him either. Curry, Retchie, both 12 kills in the last 25 rounds. It's just not good enough on your own map pick, unfortunately. Remember, they are playing with a stand-in as well, so the same style that they'd usually employ just hasn't been able to work out for them, and we've seen much more of a scrimmy affair for Mythic on this T side, just speeding it up, playing Dust 2, maybe as it was designed to be played, and this will be a map point right now, surely, as Retchie moving in from the back, and Katie is on absolute fire. She's on Clyde 9. It's 15-11.
Well, last chance saloon for Rebirth, and they need 4 in a row to take us to overtime. So a few last chance saloon visits, I suppose. Double up setup seems to be the order of the day. Looking very, very shaky here. Plenty of utility, but I mean, the buys have not really been the problem. Mythic just pulling it to another level. Rebirth kind of doing the same on their T side as well, right? Playing super aggressive in your face and charging you down, really. Davey creeping forwards, off angle for Carson, spots the barrel, finds the first, but not set up for the rest. Very good take onto the B bomb site. They have got control of it, and there seems to be, wherever there's one, there's 2. 3-on-2 here for Rebirth to stay in the game. Curry and 4-pack have to clutch up.
It is on that notoriously difficult B bomb site to retake, and with the AWP going for the aggressive swing, you can just see the confidence there, of course, from ZNF. He's had a quieter map, but definitely been good enough here. The smoke's placed, Curry straight on through. Perfect incendiary grenade, but Katie's there to convert. Great headshot. Should be able to finish this one off as 4-pack can't find anything. It's 16-11 for Mythic as they do it again. It's a 3-mapper to stay in IEM Beijing. These close qualifiers getting fiery as we're going to train after the break.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
call my bluff for the last time. This ain't a song, it's a battle cry. No life. I see the clue between the strobe lights. I'm haunted, black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Used to want it bad, used to want it bad, but I can't taste it. I can't help you now, okay? Follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Get push on, follow me around, okay? Black face. Hey, follow me around, okay? Get push on. Got too much up on my plate, now I can't think. I said woke up, take a action, now I'm feeling this is it. Want the money, want the rest. I do purse, not no sex. They say Don, it's why you sad. I said I just need to think. Red tape, got too close, I hit the city. Black face, show you everything you need till you fornicate it bad. Someone said it's sad. I used to want it bad. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you too many times, yeah. I know it's in my head, keep seeing you. I know it's in my head. Follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my follow me around, okay? Black face, hey, follow me around, okay? Got too much up on my.
Oh, I see the signs and I see we're there, and I feel the lies and I feel the sand. Forever hold, no matter if we cast away, a fire in the dark. I know that you won't be waiting again. I know
shines brightly in your eyes. So baby, stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning. Oh, baby. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah. The stars falls around us, entwining us. So baby, stay with me where the sun doesn't go down, and we will drift away until the day the world stops spinning, 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 until the day the world stops spinning.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Game Fuel, DHL, and GG.Bet.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's officially the last map of the night. Mythic Rebirth going to all 3 here, and it's Train to Decide. Not quite in the knife round yet. We've already watched the knife round. You didn't watch it. Me and Scriv did. It's Rebirth to take it, so they get that favorable CT side as we get into the pistol. Any quick predictions before getting into this one, Scriv?
Ooh, he went there.
I did.
I think Rebirth for my money. When it's been more structured, and also their CT side was pretty solid on Overpass, right? But when it's been more structured, I think they've looked better. The issue is the chaos, the mad playstyle of that T side does too, worked in favor of Mythic very, very heavily. Can't really do that kind of style on Train. So there you are. That's my 2 cents.
I happen to agree with you, and I think that Mythic have to artificially create some of that chaos, especially towards this A-bomb site, if they are going to come out on top. Unfortunately, no P250s in hand for this pistol, and Curry looking for these headshots right now. Zotic there to convert, and well, that bomb is going to very easily go down here from Pop Dog Dave. He wants to be a surprising factor, needed to nail a couple of headshots in that scenario and puts Pollen in a near impossible scenario. He's doing the damage though. He's got 3 more to find, needs to convert the quad kill, and with that Glock needs to take another avenue of approach. 75 seconds left, and heading back towards the Pop Dog here. Wants to be that surprising factor, and Carson could get caught out. Does go for the jump spot, and that surprise factor is gone.
Still have control of the bomb though. Pollen trying his best to move in. Ooh, 2 players stacked up on him. They don't take him down. They don't even do any damage. Oh, boys, what's happened here? Still, it's going to be tough. He's spotted out. He's got no armor. Don't really need the headshots at this point. He's on 45 HP. 2 or 3 bullets will get the job done. Yeah. 20 seconds left. There's just really no way in for him, unfortunately. Looking to try and find a kill. Maybe do some damage. Ring around the rosy right now from the CT side. Just winding the clock down. He clicks and he's got no bloody bullets. Exotic will take him down. And that is the pistol inevitably going the way of Rebirth.
And that's the way that it also should have gone as of that IV aggression there from Rebirth. They had that double man stacked towards that side of the map, and Mythic just without the longer range pistols in the form of the P250s to try and get the job done. Without the bomb down, I won't expect much investment coming out of round 2, and it's only a double flashbang picked up. Perhaps preferential treatment given to this B-bomb site. Try and sneak that C4 down and away. This will be surely a faster round. This is all about the bomb plant, Scriv. If they can get a little bit of bonus cash, that bags them a little bit of extra utility going into the next. But with ZNF dropping first, I guess the Americans would call him ZNF. 90 seconds left, and well, Mythic, they are getting absolutely slaughtered inside of A main.
Yeah, very easy stuff, very quick stuff. Solid start here to the CT side. It was, once again, the eco round in the second. Glad to see it's made a few appearances, right? Not a big fan of it every single time, but all the same. Every now and then it's pretty solid. AK's into this round from Mythic, though. This is where things start to spice up. And indeed, the barometer, as I always say, for the way the rest of the half is going to go. Rebirth, not quite money built up, right? It's only been 2 rounds, so would like to take this one and would like to take it cleanly. That, in and of itself, is not an easy task. Exotic doing all the work at Ivy. Maybe holds mouse one a little too long. Maybe expecting more players to come in. Regardless, he gets traded instantly, and that is a solid result for Mythic.
Those 1-for-1 trades always favour the T side, spreads the CTs thinner and thinner, with 4-pack taking the aggressive line with the AWP towards Heaven on that B-bomb site. 70 seconds left, and he's still holding. Curry burns alive for the full 100 HP, and that is a massive mistake here for the defence. Rebirth now spread incredibly stressed, and with Retchi with only a FAMAS in hand, should be contended with quite nicely. With the AK-47s in hand for Mythic. Flash over the top, and Carson, he's being taken from all angles right now. Using that smoke to perfection, staying alive BG style, but needs to find some extra headshots, and it's never going to happen. Bomb to go down. 4-pack surely saves the AWP. 2-1. Almost a guaranteed scoreline at this point. 4-pack, he has got a smoke and a defuse kit. If he finds maybe a snappy first shot, maybe there's an opportunity here, but look at these afterplants. So hard to wean them out of control.
Four-pack playing contact. I think at this point, oh, just trying to get out, and the timing on that is so rough to watch. Very unfortunate, but clean round from Mythic coming in. Looking very good indeed. We'll see. Round number 4. Rebirth, no money, like I said, so half buy. Well, not even that, just a couple deagles on some of the richer members. And that'll be all she wrote for this round, really. I feel, right? They might be able to get something. It's a speedy one from Mythic, which is always risky against these kinds of buys. You do need to be very, very careful not to be overwhelmed, ultimately. But at this point, looking solid. No kills coming in. The deagle, of course, proving me wrong. Exotic maybe trying to find another couple of heads. The round, though, is over, Squid. It will go the way of Mythic in the end. It's just a question of how much damage can be done.
And with these pistols, you are just looking to do a tickle of damage here. They do onto Flom. He's 0-4, but shouldn't really matter in all effect. That money starting to be built up from Mythic. Very nicely coming back into this one as the rifles come into fruition once again. I thought they'd be deprived of the AWP, but it's thrown away from Curry. He doesn't have as many nades. Either the one incendiary here, I would guess it'll be a smoke and a flash instead. If you're playing on that A-bomb site, you need as many incendiaries as possible, and they will not be available going into round 5 for Rebirth. This is a technical timeout, Scriv. We see that... Who is it that's dropped? It's Carson with a bit of a techie. Can you remember a tech deck? Did you ever own tech decks?
I did not, but I know what it is, right? It's like a mini skateboard.
Yeah. Carson's got his own little tech deck right now.
I know the one Vine as well, or whatever, the one little video where that guy tech decks on some guy's shoe and he says, "Did you just tech deck on my shoe?"
The internet is so messed up.
I feel like that's one of the less messed up things about the internet, but there we are.
That is true.
Differing of opinions.
What's the most messed up thing you've seen on the internet?
Not sure that is a rabbit hole that we would like to get down.
Well, it is.
You know the messed up thing I've seen on the internet? I'll tell you the most messed up thing I've seen on the internet today. How about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Seeing a Zeus in pretty much every single full eco round in our first best of 3 today.
That is true. That's the most Zeus's I've ever seen in a series by quite a margin.
And there's no reason to buy the Zeus, really. Perhaps mental, but if you don't get a kill, you've wasted your time and your money and my time. Sorry, I get quite... I've been fine all day with it, but now, yeah, now that we come into the tail end, it's really not good.
You get to those
Look,
early
there's
hours
kills
of
going
the
on,
morning.
there's kills going on. Let's just Counter-Strike, okay? 4-pack gets taken down. Leave the Zeus where it belongs, in the bin. And now into a 1-on-3. The rifle's looking pretty solid here. Flom trying to clutch things up, but I think he's taking a bit too much damage here.
Yeah, as soon as that headshot comes through, that really just marks his demise. And there's Carson from the back lines. Ping not an issue, and the headshot certainly not either. 3-2. A couple of nades retained here as they are just trying to sweep these off the floor. Just the double AWP setup to pick up, as Rebirth have plenty of time to get on that defuse for one final time. 3-2. Nice little start from them as they capitalize, but no real money built up here. Further reinvestments needed going into the next to contend with this full buy from Mythic. You'll see Flom back with the AWP, I'm sure. ZZF might even just be the man to drop that over. They could actually go for the 5 rifle setup. Depends. Does ZNF feel generous? I think Katie actually threw that one away. She actually had even more money going into this one. Nice and rich.
Speedy around from Mythic. Or Katie as well might have gone unnoticed. Yep. Backstab comes in. Does get traded out, but still, as we always say, those 1-for-1 trades going to benefit the T side. However, very well read by Rebirth. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of Carson's position here. Easily flashed. But all the same, they've got him. They've got 4-pack ready and waiting on the B-bomb site.
And nobody from Heaven to contest with this from Mythic. This isn't the most powerful setup unless they can get Flom into a more powerful position here as the smoke dissipates. Expect Carson in this one-and-done position to, probably fall fairly early, relying on 4-pack. He's been such a massive member this series. Now Carson playing the anti-flash, he doesn't even find the first. I said it's one-and-done, but just the latter. 4-pack only finds the first, and he has spotted out Davey trying to get aggressive towards the connector, pressuring this smoke. I don't think it's been communicated. Maybe the information didn't come through at all with Davey playing up close and personal. There's Curry to contest. And no flank for Rebirth, but they are going to find all of these headshots as a response, and there's 4-pack to finish. 4-pack, 4 rounds. Rebirth, they take the lead.
Defuse taking its sweet time as Exotic is on the bomb. The only player without a kit. Love to see it.
It's always tilting, isn't it?
I think if you're playing, probably. Just want to get into the next round as soon as possible, guys. Why is the guy with the kit not defusing, you know? For me, I mean, a tiny little bit, but whatever, bro. I suppose we don't get paid by the hour, but if we did.
Sweet
sometimes
paper.
We do. Yeah, sometimes we do.
Very rarely.
Yeah, I mean... maps are generally a good barometer, aren't they, of an hour, I guess. It's usually how long they take, give or take, right?
I mean, if you're not counting time.
I suppose it does depend how quickly they get into the next map as well, actually. But
sometimes
I mean, in the sense that it's like, you do 10 maps in a day, for example. I mean, that's a lot.
10 maps in a day?
Some of those are going to be over an hour, some of those are going to be under an hour, so your average probably works out close to an hour a map. But then you do, like you say, have the time either side. In an ideal world, we'd be ready and raring to go, but then at the same time, the players need time in between maps, so it's kind of fair. There's a lot to consider, isn't there? It's very complicated. The logistics of esports, very, very complicated.
Yeah, I need a bit of time to heat up my chicken tikka masala between the series as well. That's always an important one.
Same dinner 2 days in a row, mate?
I actually had a boona today.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Lamb?
It was actually chicken. There wasn't a lamb. I was trying to go for lamb as well, but it's just not on offer.
I'm not a big fan
available at all.
of the lamb, to be fair. It's a bit too rich. Couple frags here on that T side of things. Any more, and this gets a little ridiculous. Flom on his P250, almost finding a third of the round. And there are a good number of low HP players. He could do a lot of damage here. The contact peak from 4-pack, though, will be successful. Rebirth pick up that 5th round. I think any damage is good damage in that round from Mythic. It's also the bare minimum of 3 for Rebirth, so big thumbs up from both sides. Nothing special, but pretty satisfactory all round, I think.
Yeah, and this one certainly will be. Orc back out for Flom. He's been a bit of a quiet member throughout this series. Hasn't really been his same fiery self. Back with the AWP, though. Plenty of utility around the 4 AK-47s. Rebirth standard defense playing. Actually, this is far from standard. 3 towards the B bomb site. They want to put the pressure towards the curly letter. And Mythic won't contest or challenge them towards this side of the map. I unfortunately think that this Molotov is going to hold them in place towards B. Maybe even for too long. long as the AK-47s go rummaging. Davey, he's about to walk into the bear trap, and as it snaps closed, Retchi going to find the first, and there is the response. Katie surely should go down here. All of the damage has been done, and that Molotov, it's hopeless, gets extinguished by the smoke grenade, as Rebirth should be able to hold on to this one. Zotic gets damage, and in this situation, damage is damage. It's very important. Need to contest with the M4 on this bomb train. Curry being the main man, and 4-Pack wanted to take a secondary peek into the AK-47s. The swing is terrible, and Poland, that timing so unfortunate. 4-Pack allowed to go for the secondary shot. He's 12 kills, and wanting even more in this round. You can see the confidence is oozing from him, and there's another flick to finish. 6-2, Rebirth, hold on.
Wow. Wow. Rebirth looking really solid here. This is somewhat what I expected. Like you said, Mythic have to create the chaos in this map, which is very difficult to do. And Rebirth, solid CT sides as we've seen. And you can really see why. The double up setup is really paying dividends every time that we've seen it. Exotic, second fragger behind 4-Pack. Need I say more? They're just doing so much work. Mythic as well. I think they would love to approach these rounds as fast as possible, round after round after round. But against a double up setup, without baiting utility in, that can be difficult. But, as we see, wide swings with the Deegs, apparently mad successful. 2 quick kills come in, and Mythic suddenly looking to pounce onto A.
AK in the open, Retchi only able to find the first. That doesn't bring the numbers even. That incendiary certainly could if it had dropped a little bit closer. Here comes the double peek, and the AK can't contend for both of them. Now it's 4-Pack challenge once again. He seems to know where all of these members are, and he is finding every single shot. Just Katie versus 2 right now, as this round might also go Rebirth's way. That would be a 7th, and 4-Pack, such a sensational member. We talked about him earlier on that first map of this series. Certainly the standout player for Rebirth, and definitely pretty much whatever happens here, my MVP, win or loss. Katie trying to isolate, but Carson in the back lines able to finish. 7-2, good lead, and this is where Mythic need to go back to the drawing board and change things up on this T side. Flom sensationally behind. 2 kills for him, and does he go for the glass cannon? I do not think so. Just the AKs for Mythic going into the next.
Well, Mythic, here we go. This really needs to work out for them, to be honest, or at the very least come close. Find themselves some early damage. And it could be possible, but, like, yeah, things are not looking good. As I always talk about, these kinds of gaps early on in the game, 5 or 6 rounds, if Rebirth can keep that constant, even if it only goes down to 3 or 4, it could make the difference in the end. So Mythic need to turn things around here on their T side, and pretty comfortably, pretty convincingly. That's not the best way to start. It's a nice flash. Exotic, though, he gets his timing. Finds the first. Of course, 4-Pack gets the second. Davey with the backstab. Okay, Retchi actually managing to get a couple. That's somewhat unfortunate, to be honest with you. 3-on-1, for Katie now. I think certainly ZNF should have found that kill. Will be kicking himself. Clean headshot to open up the clutch, but 4-Pack drops the final player for Mythic. 8-2, no bomb plant. Mythic are scrapping, getting frags. They're really not getting anywhere close to winning the rounds, it feels like.
It was previously Katie with the 1 versus 3 to put Mythic's first round on the board on Overpass. Unable to do a similar setting here on this 3rd and final map of this series. They are very behind right now, and Rebirth actually taking the tack to allow Mythic to stew in this one. 8-2, and just the pistols out in the next as well. Should very much be Rebirth closing in on the double-digit number of rounds on the CT side. Mythic, you said they're trying to scrap on train. It's very hard to do so. We know very CT-sided configuration. Those long-distance angles really opens things up for the double AWP setup. And when you've got a member like 4-Pack firing on all cylinders, 17-4 right now, he is just above and beyond what anybody else is doing for Rebirth, and might just put them in this consolidation final against EA Gaming tomorrow night, ladies and gents. That's one to mark in your calendar. Whoever wins this one, that'll be a sensational series. here. Me and Scriff bringing in that action as well. Been here from start to finish.
Yes, hello.
There he is.
That's me.
Take a bye.
That is me. Schrodinger's bow, mate. Did I or didn't I?
Oh, you'll never know. You'll have to go to his Instagram, which he's been posting on during this series.
I have. In between. It took a little while to upload for some reason, so I was trying to figure that out. But,
what's the
yeah,
plan?
I don't know. My Instagram's not necessarily extended to esports, in all fairness. I'll shut up, because things are getting a little closer. 2-on-3. Bomb's gone down. CTs seem to have control of the site. It's all going to be onto Pollen. Finds the first with the CZ. The defuse coming in. Yes, indeed. So there goes the round. He will go down. But once again, big damage done. And the 9th round for Rebirth. But as I was saying, yeah, I don't know. My Instagram is more of like a personal one. I know some casters, even all the way up, right, like have it as a public kind of thing. My Twitter, cool with that. Do I make a Facebook? Don't really know. I feel like Facebook is a bit of a dead social media. At least in terms of getting your name out there, right, and stuff like that. But Instagram's pretty good. TikTok's pretty good, I hear.
TikTok.
For your interactions and impressions and stuff. But then for your street cred, I'm not really sure. Nonetheless, Flum opening up here into round number 12. Curry and Retchi dishing out the damage. Wow, one frag between them. Davey with the balls of steel. I absolutely love it. Swings out on 1 HP. He does not care. And I mean, timing-wise, he doesn't get taken down. He also doesn't find a frag. Picks up an AWP for his trouble. Meanwhile, Z and F outside. Fluffing the spray down once again. He has had a rough map here. Certainly sets up Curry for death. 3-on-3 with a 1 HP Davey. I mean, things look very good for Rebirth. Davey, however, the AWP is a genius move.
Steel wouldn't agree. Bogdan certainly would. It's Mythic looking for their third. And the double AWPs trying to get their way back into this one. The USPS comes out instead. And, well, there's the first sniper dropping. Of course, Mythic won't want to carry both of them through. Prioritizing this 4-1 setup, of course, with 4 AK-47s in play. 4-pack wanting to bolster up these statistics. And there's another sliding shot. That's kill number 20 here for Train. As nobody else audacious enough to swing into his position to try and take away the Asimov. He's got 10k in the coffers as well. Very sturdy stuff going into the final couple of rounds of this half. And number 13, only a couple left to be played here. And Mythic's economy, full expenditure coming into the next. I have to just buy up using all of that money. Only a couple of $1,000 behind them as well going into the next. Of course, that loss bonus is pretty fully built up. It doesn't fully reset nowadays. That hasn't been the case for many years. You've been living under a rock if that's news to you. 9-3, Rebirth looking for double digits.
Curry creeping around the smoke. Nobody here, though. It does seem Mythic creeping out towards B. A lot of creeping in this round. I mean,
I will be honest, Scriv. A Curry does often creep up on you.
It does in a way. It does in a way. Not in the way that Curry's trying to creep in this game. I suppose it does burst out all of a sudden. But either way, Carson holding things down. Curry as well looking solid. The bomb has dropped just next to the train. Oh, beautiful reposition from Carson, you know. That is absolutely magical. ZNF has no idea. Davey eventually locks him down, but I think the damage already done. 1-on-3. Katie has to retrieve the bomb, get a frag, back across to the bomb site itself. And all these things are very difficult. The AWPs are missing a few shots, though. Do need to be careful. Nice trigger discipline. And the headshot lands. Okie dokie. Exotic. Listen, bro, the aim of the round is to plant the bomb, but that's only if you're on the terrorist side. So you don't really need to swing out and give your life away and make things difficult for 4-pack, who, by the way, is being read like a book.
This would be the second 1 versus 3 of the series for KT. Such a key member in the first, and as the rotators coming through, 4-pack might just walk right into this one. It's quite the daunting fact when you open up that scoreboard and you see you're up against the hard carry of the Rebirth side. AWP looking to close in for round number 10, and it's this AK-47 to go elsewhere on this highway in 4-pack. This is all about timing. Katie seems to have the prime in perfect angle. Not planted for her, but there's the headshot to convert. 4 rounds Mythic, and it's all off the back of this Katie 1 versus 3 once again. Deja vu on train.
Absolutely solid stuff. And that may well give them the chance that they need to, close the gap as much as possible, right? 9-6 is the best they can hope for, but if they can keep Rebirth away from double digits after how one-sided the half has looked, would be absolutely solid. Z&F, clean opener, of course, only against the USPs. There's a Deagle in play, but ultimately, this round is a freebie. They can find even just 1 kill here. I think they'd be very happy on the CT side. Not going to happen, however. A Mythic waltz in to their 5th. Rebirth now looking to hit 10 at the very least. I think they'll be somewhat disappointed if they don't hit the double digits.
I think so as well, just off the back of how this started. And, well, Mythic, they've done just about enough to make this a successful half. If they can take 6 as well, I think they're going to be incredibly happy with that one. 10-5 also acceptable if you can take that second side pistol. And just heading towards this A-bomb site right now, it is David right off the bat to take that initial swing. You see Flom off that AWP. That's the change-up that Mythic has made. And I've got to say, Scriv, this A-take has been incredibly unsuccessful so far. Not really the utility doing the damage for Rebirth either. It has literally just been 4-pack on that solo carry. He's way up above the 20 kill mark, and he's also spotted out Davey. So the AWP could get taken down here. And as Davey whiffs that first shot, a barrel spotted, information given, and 4-pack, there's nobody can contend with him. Davey nails the shot anyway. Those vertical sliders, so hard to nail. And with Zotta getting flashed, that gives an opening to Mythic on this A site.
Curry. Smoked out. Blind spray coming in. Doesn't find anything. Retchy from on high. He's the one that does damage. Looking for more. It's close, but doesn't quite land it. Sets up Curry for 1. Quick trade from Davey. He has to find 4 for the round. 3 on his own. This is no easy task. Of course, final round of the half. So a bit of added pressure in that sense that it is the end of their T side. Like we've said, would be nice to bring it as close as damn it, particularly after the start. Davey, though, will walk straight into the eyes of Carson. Easy spray down in the end, and Rebirth do get their 10th. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. Mythic, I think, will have to take the good with the bad there and hope that their CT side is strong enough.
Rebirth practically a pistol away from victory here as they look to cling on to this IEM Beijing spot after a short break.
dancing on my own. When you spill that rum and coke on my t-shirt, yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, for the final time. Rebirth Mythic. Rebirth perhaps just a pistol round and a rifle opportunity away from knocking this Mythic roster right out of these IEM Beijing closed qualifiers. Their dreams of making it to the main tournament might be thwarted at the end of this half. They need such a sensational CT side here, and KT and ZNF, they want to cling on. 4-pack as a response finds one, and this P250 long range, this could be the crucial shot. He's doing so much damage right now, and it's Retchi instead to spring for 2. This Zotic Glock wanting to take them to task, but in the 2 versus 2 scenario, the bomb should be able to go down.
One would think they're really looking to take the fights, though, and hoping that the gap does indeed close, which actually plays into the hands of the Glock, of course. Retchi trying to help out. He's just behind Exotic, who will manage to take down KT. This is actually a genius move, really baiting them into coming close. I think that's perfect for the Glocks. Exactly what they want. Pollen creeping up sidewalk has not been spotted doing so, but suddenly they become savvy. Both turn in an instant as they figure it out. Pollen, though, looking good. A shame he can't find the second. Clutch up from Exotic. Very solid indeed. Mythic will be kicking themselves. That Retchi 2K on the sidewalk, on the ramp, is just massive. Absolutely massive.
I can only assume that Pollen makes a misstep there. That gave the information to Rebirth. They snapped to attention as soon as they heard that one. 11-5. Pollen obviously didn't realize he had made any sort of audio cues, and being so up close and personal to that bomb site, it's of course going to be communicated with all 5 players just watching the screens there. Even in that death cam, you can just hear those footsteps. Rebirth touching distance, knocking Mythic out of this tournament, and it's the MAC-10 to convert all of these kills coming through. It's all Rebirth on this A-bomb site. Couple of kills from Flom and Davey, but I don't think they can get the job done here with a scout at long range. Maybe Flom, if he can find a snappy, surprising headshot, then maybe he brings this one back in Mythic's favor. Maybe he draws it even, but with Davey inside the connector, this should be very out in the open, and Retchi's just able to sweep his face out of the server. Oh, convincing.
Crisp. Absolutely crisp. Absolutely convincing. There you are. Massive, massive stuff from Rebirth so far. Looking very confident, very clean. And I think it's going to be difficult. As we said, much more structured map here. Although Mythic do have a history on it. Rebirth do like to move towards train. I believe they picked it yesterday, if I'm remembering correctly, against Rugrats.
Could have.
I can't fully remember. It was definitely played, right? And it was the map that went to overtime. Either way, Flom finding the opener here into this round. Not expecting too much, but like the USPs are getting damaged. They had the triple nade as well, which doesn't really land. But all the same. 4-on-4. A bomb site secured. It is that situation of just doing damage. 1 kill for Flom, that's all so far. And I think, honestly, that might be the only one. Rebirth will move up to 13 pretty quickly. And the pressure massively on Mythic in the next round. Nice find from Davey. Any more, and you start to question things, but there won't be any more. Still, kill bonus, making sure they have to rebuy and whatnot is always nice. Here we are, round number 19. And it feels if they lose this one, the game goes with it. Rebirth are in prime position to clean things up and take the series.
I've got to say, just to touch on another subject here, I really do like the format of these closed qualifiers. Just 4 teams. Obviously, we've casted them all, and it allows you to really keep tabs and kind of learn these players and find out how they work against a different tier of opposition. I think Mythic have had struggles, not just in that previous series, but especially in this one today. I think Rebirth have just gone a bit above and beyond what we were expecting. Remember, ladies and gents, that Mythic were actually the favourites coming into this series at the very start. That hasn't really come to fruition here today. They haven't looked like the favourites whatsoever, but both teams playing with a stand-in, that really changes the dynamics here. And I don't think that Rebirth have struggled with Curry. as much as Mythic have done with ZNF. He had a really great start, remember, all the way on overpass earlier on today. Love that angle from Curry. They're playing him as the isolated member. Straight out first, taking those initial shots. Finally finished off by Katie. Nade doesn't connect.
Ooh, 4-pack. Clean up shot brings it back into a 4-on-4. Ooh, Katie with the perfect timing. So well played. Making sure to nullify that frag and keep the man advantage. Does get caught off, though. It's a Jekyll and Hyde kind of round there. The up-train play is out there. Exotic with the 1-tap. ZNF, the only one left in the 1-on-3. Might just see this game ending a little prematurely compared to the last two. And the match, the potential spot going with it, of course, your place in the tournament will remain if you are Rebirth, if you are to secure this. I mean, we've seen Mythic pull off some incredible comebacks. Whether they can do the same here on Train is another question. 9 rounds behind. 11 to take it in regulation. 10 to bring us to overtime. There is your maths lesson for the day, Squid. I hope you were listening.
Yeah, I did have my abacus out. I was trying to keep tabs on it. A little difficult, though. I think Mythic will find this round equally as difficult. It's, of course, Katie with the 1 dig. She seems to find at least 1 frag every single time here, as the pistols are finding shots. Good damage dealt, but damage doesn't matter any longer. Carson also gets traded. Pollen, it's the CZ up close. Feet spotted, and Retchi should have been able to find that finisher. It's Zotic now, a 1 versus 2 to carry through. ZNF a surprising angle, as on the bomb train, AK retrieved. Zotic gets caught from the sideline. Sensational round from Pollen to convert 3. And keep Mythic still in this one. That was a round that they absolutely needed to take. I'm surprised they didn't hit the full force. But instead, they hit the gas.
Well, well, well. Here we go. Keeping things interesting, sir. Very good indeed. Tech 9 out in this round, but other than that, it's pretty much perfect. I suppose Curry on the Kevlar, no head armor. Could be rough. Takes 8 damage from an early nade. Rebirth looking to kick Mythic back down, put them back in their place with this round. Spotted early, the jig is up, they've got to go for it. Flom has help from ZNF. They're trying to eliminate him, but it's proving difficult. He finds 2. Flom, meanwhile, still alive at the spool. And I think because of how long it takes them to get that frag and the fact that they gain no control, they will move back and reapproach or even attack the A-bomb site.
Itchy feet for Mythic once again. They don't really know where to rotate out of this one, and I think Curry could have delayed a rotation just with a single smoke grenade here. Unfortunately, he's got no utility to play with. The bulk of that buy is on Zotic and Retchi. 4 flashes, a smoke and a Molotov to play with. As Flom has the angle completely under wraps. There's no way he should be missing this shot whatsoever. And there is the first, able to backtrack. That should secure the round, seal the deal. As Retchi misses that shot. He's no 4-pack. As KT closes this one out. Retchi no chance. He's even being flanked. And this AWP, no chance of saving with a knife in hand. Headshot for Pollen. As Mythic, they keep this one going once again. We've seen sensational comebacks from them from start to finish of these close qualifiers. And they don't want to give up that spot yet.
Buying themselves time at this point. It's kind of consolation rounds. Not quite believing just yet. Even they themselves might still be in a slightly more negative mindset than positive, right? So we'll see. We'll see. The Kings have comebacks so far this weekend. This one would be another incredible comeback. But, I mean, CT side of Train, right? Probably one of the better areas to do it from. CT side in general is very, very rough. Nothing much coming in this round, just going the way that you would expect. Glocks and I believe just the 1 Deagle find very little success. Which is good for Mythic, building bank. We've talked about it an awful lot with a lot of comeback situations over the past few days. when you are on the comeback train, you need to be careful not to take too much damage. Again, particularly on the CT side. That's why I say it's kind of rough when it comes to coming back. Is there another way you can say that? Rolling it back? Fighting back, I suppose. One of those phrases, though, isn't it? A comeback is a comeback. There's not really any other synonymous phrase that you can use that doesn't involve back, for sure.
I'm trying to think of something that's not really rude. Just let that one sit. It's lingering. Scriv, it's lingering.
I don't want to touch it, you know?
Well, certainly not. 14-8. Tactical timeout for Rebirth. I think this is a good time to take one. Disallow Mythic from getting onto those double digits. Every single one of these rounds very important, but with the pistols in the next, what are you really talking about in this one? Plenty of utility to carry through. Obviously buying to that $2,000 mark. 4-pack keeping a little more cash in hand, obviously, for the AWP in the next. Flom has one. Instead, for the CT side, no double AWP setup available for Mythic. They don't want to go for it. Of course, the money is not going to be an issue from start to finish, but these kills certainly will. With Carson connecting the first, Flom does drop one with the HG. Rebirth will encroach closer, and I don't think there's any bail option from this A-bomb site. Headshots galore for Zotic, but he is the only member finding frags there. Needs another one, and Davies there to finish off the job. 4-pack, Galil in hand, but not much health to his name. 24, in fact. So he needs to carry through the 1 versus 2. Patiently waiting for the flank, which will not ever occur here.
Delaying the inevitable, it feels like, at this point. 24 HP, no armor, right? Like, they kind of split. Arguably, at this point, you just roll with the Deagle as well. But he's really playing the patience. Once he starts to move into angles, I'd love to see the Deagle come back out. Davey is creeping in towards Olaf. And will take him down. That sucks. That does indeed suck. Another 5 seconds holding that angle. Who knows? He takes down Davey. But the nature of the 1v2 on the outside bomb site. So many nooks and crannies. Timing, positioning is absolutely everything. Unfortunately, against Rebirth in that situation. And against 4-pack, of course.
You've got to note, Scriv, that this CT side is looking much more robust than the overpass comeback yesterday. All of those rounds incredibly scrappy, no opportunity to build money. This time, very different. Davey 8k, ZNF 6.5. Money is not going to be an issue from Mythic from start to finish. Just, if something crazy happens, perhaps they might be stuck for cash, and 4-pack certainly wants to make that a fact. Apollon instantly drops in 4-pack. He's going to burst off the back of this one. Smoke is flawless. Back into the CT spawn. He has this angle under wraps, and with the Molotov placed, Curry's going to go right on through. He likes it hot, and 4-pack finds another. He's causing absolute chaos towards the A-bomb site and finding all of the shots. 3 kills. We don't get the opportunity to see any of them, as ZNF put in an impossible scenario where 4-pack should be able to find all of these kills right now. He's got the AWP ready and waiting, and there goes the swing. ZNF knows, he spots the hit and does finally find that frag. It's only a consolation kill. He's found 12 this map, but no opportunity for the retake. Mythic, they're going to need 6 in a row for OT, Scriv.
Leaving no room for mistakes is just incredibly dangerous, right? For any caliber of team, I think it's so hard. Eventually, we are human. Someone on your 5-member team will make a mistake that costs you the round. Or even just get caught off, or even just get timing. Some good damage from ZNF towards the end, to be fair. Finding 3 kills. It could make a bit of a difference, actually. 6 in a row to do it for Rebirth, but the first one leaves them relatively poor. If Mythic win this, deny a bomb plant, I think there'd probably be a half buy from Rebirth, unless they really would like to send it. The Loss bonus brought down ever so slightly because of the back and forth nature.
Oh no. This fast run and gun stance has worked out every single time. And look at that one. That pretty much ends the series in its tracks. Mythic, they're surely eliminated. ZNF, it's the stand-in to try and do the trick. He needs an ace to keep this one going, Scriv. And that shot through the smoke, incredibly close. But Carson survives along with Rebirth in this tournament. This will be the 2-1 as Exotic finds the final shot. Another 16-9 for Rebirth as they close this one out 2-1.
Solid stuff. Absolutely solid stuff from Rebirth. It's close. It's hard fought. It's a exciting kind of game between these two teams. Mythic, as you said, though, the favorites, and I think, unfortunately, the lack of Adren definitely affects them. Look, Katie looks good. Davey looks good in moments, right? He's got a great mind for the game, and I think that really helps him clutch things up. But ZNF, little inconsistent across the series. That's fair enough, right? Playing from a standing position. I really hope we do get to see a little bit more. Of course, they have a different sort of energy to most teams. A lot of branding and whatnot onto the Mythic players, right? They all have their streams and all that kind of stuff. And for Flom especially, I would imagine it's a heavy focus and takes a lot of his time. Davey, just starting, wants to put a lot of his time into it. But to talk about Rebirth, they actually look very good. I'm incredibly impressed from 4-Pack. He looked great across the series. Exotic backing him up. But they seem to have a solid team there, and hopefully as a solid 5, right? Curry standing in for them also. They could really get some work done. Not quite securing their spot, but they give themselves that chance and have to go for the run back tomorrow.
And that does set up that final consolidation final matchup. It's a new match that we haven't seen before. Yeah Gaming, that Brazilian USA mixed squad, will be taking on Rebirth for that final IEM Beijing North America spot. Meet us back here on ESL CSGO for even more Counter-Strike action tomorrow as we will find out who will make it to IEM Beijing. See you next time.
On Intel Extreme Master Certified PCs, you'll find a gold badge